We are getting ready to go. What time is it?
I was gonna say snow green button.
I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Snow Removal Committee today, March 25th, 2026 at 5:49 PM. Clerk, could you please take a roll call?
Chairman Arocho.
I'm here.
Council Moreno, Council Codere.
Here,
Is there anybody signed up for public input?
Don't think so.
Anybody online, sir?
If you can, if you're online at the moment, please press the raise hand button to speak for public input.
Okay, great. Council Moreno, could you take item number 1, please?
Yeah,
Number-
item
I mean,
number
number 2 rather.
2 is an
I don't know how to picture.
update on the snow
Don't worry about the writings.
budget.
So then moved by Councilor Marino, sorry, seconded by Councilor Codere, that we take up item number 2, update on the snow budget. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. So we have Mr. Crawley here that we can, and Janine, and we can talk about the budget. So I guess out of the gate, we've had 2 big snowstorms and obviously one was historic, right? So I know we have a budgeted amount for snow removal, and I'm quite sure we went over that, which would be totally understandable. Can you give us a breakdown of where we stand compared to, what our budget is and what we spent?
So we're still gathering numbers. We're still getting invoices from plow drivers, things like that, because they have 30 days to invoice us, and some of them we have to chase even after 30 days. We're gathering all that information. We did go over, obviously, like you all know. I don't know all the numbers yet, so I don't want to give you false numbers and false hope, because I don't have all the budgets, all the invoices in. And we're still waiting on some repairs because we have just quotes and, we don't know what the final cost is going to be. So I don't want to give you hope that it's not going to be over budget. It's going to be over budget. I just don't know how much. We are in the process of applying for FEMA, which in the past they've covered the entire length of the storm. This time, right now, they're telling us 48 hours, but the governor's trying to get that extended. So we're hopeful that we'll be able to get some of that. So when that happens, we take the money out of the general fund and we put it in a separate fund in anticipation of the money that we'll get from FEMA. So I, could throw out a number and then FEMA's gonna reimburse, so I don't wanna give you false hope, so.
This year too, I would like to add to that, they were a bit more reserved for lack of terminology. So like, for example, they were asking like photos and dates and the pictures of the types of vehicles. Like it was just a little bit more different than what we've dealt with, or at least they've dealt with me. So as far as reimbursement rates, I think we're trying to, obviously our goal is to try to get reimbursed for as much as we can. But right now we're just doing the due diligence of what they asked.
And we can pick the period that, like, if it's 48 hours, we can pick which 2 days. They have to be consecutive, but we can pick which 2 days. So if it turns out to be 72, we may adjust the 2 days depending on where, so we're trying to get the biggest bang for our buck.
And I think, there was a time period where, and Director Crawley, you could probably speak to this better, that we actually had to have the truck stop plowing because you couldn't see. And that's a window I don't think we have to include because we didn't have any operations at that point in time, right? So how many hours were we not running? Do you know? Because of the stop the operation because of the snow was blinding and you couldn't see.
Yeah, the overall, and we officially in Pawtucket was about 32.5 inches. We had wind drifts, in some of them up, some areas almost six feet in some areas, but it's been the worst storm my whole career. The biggest thing was the safety of not just for the DPW staff, but for the public safety. We had to pull the guys off the road. You couldn't see more than maybe lucky 3 feet in front of you. That was the biggest issue, was for safety of everyone. So we did pull everyone off. It was around 6:30 that Monday morning. We did try to go back out a couple hours later. It just picked back up. So we were probably out close to 8 hours, that we weren't able to be out on the streets. That was really where the most damage was because that's when we had the most snowfall. And then when we went back out, we were really trying to open up the roads for public safety. We did have people out there the whole time. We had to intend to open up some roads for, there was a fire in the city, numerous rescue, calls. There was a mother expecting a baby. So we had loaders and we had two drivers on each side, opening up the roads for any emergency during that 8 hour period. And then continue throughout the night, until we were able to open up all the streets. But, we couldn't send the guys home during that time, because one, we couldn't even drive our plow trucks. We couldn't even, we can't expect the guys to drive home, during the storm. So we also, waited it out at the DPW center. I was hoping it wasn't that long of a period. At any time of a storm, if you have to pull somebody off a road, even if it's for an hour, it's, you know, what I mean, you're dealing, attacking the storm from behind, right? So the longer we were, staying still, the longer it was gonna take us to get all the streets open, you know what I mean? So we didn't go home, we stayed there, as, you know, what I mean, to open everything, but the biggest expense was the cleanup after, when we had to bring in the big loaders, the dump trucks to haul the snow out, where we had to push the intersections, just to get the streets open. We understand people were upset that we had to pile some snow on the sidewalks and stuff, but when we went back to clean that up, that's where the most expenses were. We're not set up to do that type of cleanup throughout the city. I think, you know, the last time we had snow close to that was in 1978. I mean, it's not something that happens all the time, right? So, to have this much snow, it was gonna take time. I understand, I understand some residents were upset that it took us a little longer to clear the roads, but we had to make sure everyone was safe also. You know,
If I may interrupt real quick, I think, and I'm gonna definitely open it up to you, my colleagues here. But first of all, it was the biggest storm ever recorded at Green State Airport since 1950. They've been keeping records. So it was, we speak about the blizzard of 78 for many, many years. We're going to be speaking about the blizzard of 26. I think the DPW did a tremendous job, and I applaud your efforts for keeping the drivers off the road during that 8 hour period. Safety is always got to be paramount, no matter what. So I appreciate all the work that you did as well, Director. It was, you know, it was a once every 30, 40 year, and hopefully it's another 30, 40 years storm. It was an incredible amount of snow in a small window of time. So I myself, yes, you know, fielded a lot of calls, but again, it was the biggest storm that was ever recorded at Green State Airport. That I can't say it any better than that. So,
Yeah.
do you guys have anything?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to echo what you just said. I personally, in my district, I had just a few text messages, and automatically I said, just keep me posted. They're working, they're out there, and they will text me back saying, thank you, they just cleaned my street. So it was, even though it was a big storm, I feel that we did work fast. And it was, the job that you guys did out there was amazing. We didn't have those, you know, other trucks that other states have, and you guys still get extra and put all those hours out there. And in my district, everybody was just saying thank you. At the beginning, they were a little bit concerned. Oh my God, are they gonna be able to make it? And then they will just call me back or text me back and say they just came by. Thank you for the fast response. So I just wanted to say that it was a good, very good job.
Alpha?
How was our, um, current, fleet, is it all low? Hey, or any issues with that? You have to,
Yeah, like Janine mentioned, pretty much right after the storm, we've been working with, the Rhode Island EMA and FEMA, along with, the Pawtucket EMA. We've been tracking all our repairs. It's a lot of paperwork. Like Tracy said, technology's different now, right? So they want every little thing. They want the report, they want pictures, they want estimates. So right now, we're tracking, all our repairs. We're still waiting for some quotes, also property damage. Not necessarily just for the residents, but, in our parks, there was some fence damage. We don't know if we're gonna be reimbursed for that, but we are, applying for that, so it's a lot of paperwork, and it's been nonstop, since, pretty much right after the storm. We were doing some paperwork during the storm, anticipating, documenting and everything. But the biggest thing is documentation, submit everything, let them review it, and hopefully, we'll be eligible for some, reimbursement.
Right.
We did have some smaller pickup plows. We got some damage. Knock on wood, our big trucks were good. Some of our loaders we had some damages, formed on our loaders. I want to thank the council, for approving the lease purchase for the last few years. We were able to buy and upgrade a lot of our equipment, and that did help us, during the storm. What the biggest thing that we saw was, yes, we were getting stuck, and then we had to get the loader, but that was happening throughout the state. But in the early Monday morning, it turned to rain a little bit, and then we had the temperature dropped, and it was like a thin layer of ice. And then we got all the snow on top of it. So now, when we went back to try to push the streets back, that's where we were getting stuck. We were getting stuck on that ice, and until we were able to get through there, then we were able to open it up, and that's where we needed the bigger equipment to do that. But that was one of the reasons why we were delayed a little bit longer, because of that ice, and then even the big trucks were getting stuck. So you think about it, anyone that's been through our fleet, you see the plow, and you have our 6-wheel dumps and our plow, and then you put the little pickup next to it. Normally, in the storms that we normally get, the smaller trucks, the pickups, the 1 tons can push it. With this amount of snow, even our 6-wheel, trucks were struggling, and that's why we needed to have the loaders come in to pretty much open everything up.
thank you. I just have another
Go
question.
ahead, sure.
And as, our other, leagues have that's the my also, appreciate all of the efforts. I'm just, curious, how do we currently, track all of the roads of that we jazz a tap thing, is it all tracked through an electronic tracking?
For all the damage that was
The actual the actual as a tap thing.
tracking during snow and ice operation.
Yeah, what
Yeah,
streets
yeah,
have been plowed? What streets have been plowed and?
Yeah, so the city's broken down to 5 areas.
Yeah.
and each area has a supervisor. And then, the highway chief oversees all the 5 areas, and then we have a parking lot and a sidewalk, supervisor also.
Okay.
But it's that area supervisor's responsibility to oversee those, the area, it's usually 5 or 6 routes per area. There's, because of the amount of snow, we had to kind of team up. So, instead of just sending one truck out, what we did, we had the big trucks to knock it down. And, I know some of the issues and some of the calls that were coming in, well, they did the street before us and they didn't do our street. And one of the reasons that was, some streets with the wind drifts were so high and the equipment that was assigned to that area, we knew if we went down there, we were gonna get stuck. So every time we got stuck, we had to pull one of our loaders from somewhere to go do that. And then now that area was suffering. So, to try to be efficient and get as many streets open, if we felt that it was too high for the equipment that was assigned, we skipped those streets.
Yeah.
And I know that was a lot of the complaints. You know, they skipped our street and then they felt that we purposely did that, but there was a reason why we did that. And, you know, I like to thank the mayor's office staff and the city hall staff that field all the calls, right? There was a lot of calls and not having to worry about the calls and they're writing down the streets and the issues that helped us focus more out on the roads and opening up the streets.
Yes.
You know, they did 2 streets and not mine. Once I asked her the question, you explained it to me just as you did. I was then able, I didn't have to call you. I didn't have to call you. I would tell somebody who would call and they got it. The fact is, I think it's good that we also had the travel ban, the statewide travel. ban. So even if it went down my street, I wasn't supposed to be going anywhere anyway. So I think people just wanted to be reassured. I didn't get that many calls, but the calls were that, and then after the fact, they plowed it onto my sidewalk. Usually somebody at a corner, right? So you're out of my daughter's at the corner of, I won't say where, but she had about an 8-foot high.
Yes.
5 feet into her lawn, right?
Yeah.
But it's melted by now, you know? You guys did a great job. That explanation was good for me because occasionally colleague would call and say, what's going on? And I explained it to them, they explained it to somebody. Everybody was very understanding, more so than half the stuff. Like if we got 2 feet, we'd be getting phone calls off the road. Everybody did understand it was a historic storm. You guys did a fantastic job, especially with the equipment you had, right? We'd like to be able to do the least person and get more 10 wheels. It's just, you know, everybody's clamoring for money.
Correct.
Yeah.
But you did a great job. Us coordinating our calls through you was very helpful. I know I speak for all of us and we try not to call you, right? You got enough on your plate.
Yes.
But occasionally it is, you know, a text and just a quick response. You guys did a fantastic job. I haven't heard from anybody since the storm that said, you know, they weren't pleased with the performance. So.
And I just wanted to acknowledge the council too, because during situations like that, we're not fully prepared on, we don't have everything 100%. It's helpful to have you guys fielding those calls and like being supportive of saying, we're not gonna call you. If I get 20 calls, your guys are not gonna get 20 calls. So that was for sure, you know, very supportive. We did have to get a little creative. Like this time around, we usually have, you know, you guys know our TPW email and we have the front office. But we knew that wasn't going to be sufficient. So we tried our best to be proactive as much as possible. We had a bunch of different spreadsheets going on. It was all categorized from like snow hauling to this street was missed, color coded, and all that really did help the system for us to make sure that, you know, we cater to every inquiry that was coming in as quickly as possible. And, you know, lesson learned. So now we know, like, again, like as we get into the budget situation, like, you know, we're trying to plan ahead what was needed 100% and what could we go without. And we did we're still doing inventory now. And I think that's part of the process.
Well, one thing, I'll add 2 things. Now, number 1, I appreciate the calls that you fielded and the response. The response was quick. You executed can't thank you enough for that. Again, once in a generational storm. Okay, I don't think we need a motion for this, but Janine, when we get those numbers, would you be able to send a communication to the council saying, about where we stand and, you know what I mean? I don't think we need a, thing. So whenever, no rush. When you can, when the snow settles or the dust settles, right, as they say. All right, let us know. All right.
Sorry about that.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay, Councilor Godea, could you take item number 3, please?
Item number 3 is an update on road conditions after a recent storm. I move for discussion.
So it's been moved by Council Cordia, seconded by Council Marino, that we take up update on the road conditions after the recent storm. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, Director Crowley, would you like to pick quarterback this?
Just like you said, you move on from the snow and then now we went right into pothole,
Season.
season, right? So, because of the winter that we had, the amount of snow, the weather being cold, it took a toll on the roads. As you're aware, when you have the road with so much moisture and then the ground shifting, it peels up some of the roads in some of the areas. So this year was worse than years past. In the winter months, we normally use a cold patch for a temporary fix. Normally that it lasts during the winter months. When it rains or we plow, we push that out, then we gotta go back and put it, but when the temperature stays the same, that pretty much holds it to get us through the winter months. But as soon as the spring starts and the weather starts shifting and the rain, everything just opens up and we just can't keep any kind of cold patch in these holes. So the plants that we purchased, the hot mix, they opened up on March 2nd. And we started hot patch mix on March 3rd, the next day. And we've been going out, patching all the holes. We have numerous spreadsheets keeping track of when we patch them. We ask anyone that sees a pothole to let us know.
Do you have a number
If the best way would be at the DPW at Pawtucket.ri.gov email. You can just shoot us the street. You don't even have to say just pothole on Mendon or Division, whatever it may be.
Okay,
If you have an address, that's even better. A number that we can, or 2 cross streets.
yeah.
If it's the whole street, you can just say the whole street. With the weather, with the rain we had last weekend, and the temperature dropped a little. Some of the smaller surface potholes, they did reopen. So we're going back to patch some of them. That's just because the depth of them, it wasn't able to hold lock it in place.
I know you probably have some questions. My first question would be, all right, what about the state roads? Are we taking care of those, or you the state take care of those?
We have Newport Ave, we got numerous calls on that, so whenever we call, anyone that calls for a state road, we reach out right away to Rhode Island DOT, and we do the same thing.
So you're the conduit.
The residents that,
Yeah.
because most residents don't realize that it's a state road versus a city road.
Mhm.
So instead of telling them to reach out, we try to inform them that this is a state road. We're gonna reach out to the state so they know. But we follow up with Round DOT, and we put a ticket in and tell them that there's potholes there.
And is any of this work, long shot, is there any of this price for this FEMA reimbursable because of the state, the snow?
Not for this is.
I had to ask the question. I kind of figured no.
Oh, can we? Never like go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
want to ask, protect the municipal taxpayer. Do you have anything?
Not on this now.
All right, so Council President had something you wanted to bring up, right?
You were probably about to get to it, so.
Yes.
along those lines, curbstones.
Mhm.
I've gotten more phone calls about curbstones than I got throughout the entire blizzard after, the snow settles, right, after everything melted. What can we do? Cause we've had this discussion a number of different times. I can remember having a discussion 10 years ago about Correntes, right? And it's not just my district, but Woodhaven. Mayor for the council, Moreno's house is completely disintegrated. How can we best approach that? I know we have those makeshift forms and we just fill in behind with concrete. Can we ramp up that process, do as many as possible? And if so, would it be more prudent to build up the devastated curbstones at the expense of maybe replacing 2 or 3 sidewalks, so a mile of sidewalk, let's say, to a sidewalk bond? And if you use that way, and do you have the manpower and the man hours to make it dead?
Yeah, the answer to your question, yes, we could use the bond for that work. The issue, you're talking more about where the sidewalks are all crumbling and then when the plow hits it. Yeah, the curb that they're ripping up, and a lot of that is just the concrete mix that was used in the past, right?
Right.
So if any damage by plow or the loader, I mean, we send that email to the DPW at Pawtucket.ri.gov. And then we'll go out and evaluate that, and then we'll make the necessary repairs, because there is some curbing that are damaged that are pulled out because of the loader or the plow in it. The crumbling and deteriorating, and then the plow hits it, that's an issue throughout the whole city.
Right.
We can go out. In the past, we did form it and put concrete, but the problem is it's like rust, right? That you put the concrete on top and it's still deteriorating underneath. So the real way to fix it would be
Replace
to
it.
replace the whole thing. But if
so many
there's
miles of it and
Yeah.
it's so prevalent,
Yeah.
I do think, trying to tell somebody,
Yeah.
you're not the only one,
Right.
Yeah.
I told them same thing in front of my house, same thing.
Same thing in front of my house.
Right.
Same thing.
That doesn't sit.
Right.
They were patient about the snow removal.
Yes, yeah.
But this is very glaring, right? It's
Yeah.
12 months a year, you can see it. So get that it might be a product of poor concrete the first time,
Yeah.
but it doesn't really matter what the cause is. I'm just asking if we can ramp up our ability to cure it as best we can, is what I'm asking.
Yes, we can do that, and especially if it's, if your whole sidewalks deteriorating, we know the difference if it's just something recently, or especially if it's only a couple sections in front of your house, and, maybe we can kind of switch gears instead of, some of the money that we're using for the sidewalk repairs, we can put that towards.
That's why I'm asking, because I had one particular resident call me and I said, I'll call DPW. She said, well, I already called DPW. They sent somebody else. They told me they could fix it, but it would cost her $3,800. And she was losing her mind. So, if it's normal wear and tear and it's a result of us using poor quality concrete 20 years ago, still think it's on us to fix these. It's, when it was here and there and here and there, we could just kind of accept it. But now it's here, there, and everywhere. And I think we absolutely have to make it a priority.
Yeah, they might have, and that's the issue too. Sometimes when they call and automatically say that's the 50/50 program. And then so not realizing, some of the residents don't realize that it was damaged during the storm, that they're just saying, oh, I have an issue with my sidewalk. One of the project leaders will go out and then they'll say, you're eligible for the 50/50. So we can work with the team and kind of, and put a plan together to address some of those.
Yeah, I just want to stress, let's be as proactive about this. We're talking about a curbstone, not a crumbling sidewalk.
Yeah.
And if the sidewalk's not in great shape either, we're still talking about this curbstone. Nobody should have to be said, we can fix your curbstone, and while we're at it, we're gonna do this, and it's gonna cost you $3,800. That's just not gonna fly, and I get more of those calls. So I'm just asking if we can reassess, reorganize, and buckle down on rebuilding as many as we can,
Yeah, we can.
even if it's at the expense of something else.
Yeah, we can shift things around and, I think like, in front of my house, and same thing, it's, if you have the granite and,
Yeah, granite's
you don't
great,
have no
right?
issue, right? So
Yeah.
anyone that has a concrete and it's been in there for a long time, especially if it's deteriorating, the plow hits it, it's, I mean, like you said, you.
Even a snow.
At it,
Even a
Look
foot of
at
snow,
it.
yeah.
10 months.
Yeah. You know how long we've been there, because some of them have the WPA plaque,
Yes,
right? So they've been there since 1938, how long?
but yeah, we can, address that, chips,
It's citywide too, not just.
yeah, oh, no, it's citywide.
Yes.
Some areas, like I just mentioned, you have the curb, and that's why we always try to, when we're doing the 50-50 to, both doing the granite, because in the long run, it's gonna pay well. A little bit more money, but you're not gonna be back replacing that curbing.
That'll be 5.
Comment about potholes.
5 people talking. All right, go ahead.
It's only discussion.
Only discussion, okay.
Yeah, the.
Just wanna make sure I'm good.
I wanted to make was the St. Patrick's Day, I was watching with the governor, and he was talking about potholes and getting all the municipalities together to talk about it. And the only thing that I communicated then, I thought that we had a way to communicate with DPW about snow. And I thought once the snow was gone, that we use that same way of communication, like you said, if you don't know about it, to have people, if they use that website or that information or platform, thank you, to turn around and let you know about it. I sent pictures in the other day, but I had the benefit of knowing, having the letter, the phone number of guys down in DPW that I can send it along to. So, I'm not talking to him, but I'm saying that I think for the mayor's office, if they would turn around and put that out.
Yeah.
Especially as a point where people can submit pictures in locations, it just gets added to the list, and then it just turns around, takes away from the frustration too.
Yeah, the best way, and we can work with that, is the email. Yeah, it goes to multiple people. So if somebody's off, somebody's addressing it. And
Did we put it out on social media too?
Yeah, we actually, we've been trying to be more proactive about that too, kind of like educating the community. So during the blizzard, we did a couple of videos explaining the difference in vehicles. For potholes, we did the same thing. We explained the process and how it works. We did put in contact information. But, and I don't want to get ahead of this, but we are actually actively working with this independent organization who kind of offered a free trial to do kind of like a chat bot that goes on the website. And my biggest thing was that this is an easier way to report potholes. Can we start with that? So that's going to be launching very soon. No cost to the city, have a free year. So I figured try that out just to see if we could get through the season with it. And then if it works, then obviously, we'll.
Great
we'll
idea.
assess
That's
that
great.
later. But we could definitely do more promotion.
I think definitely, as especially with some of these smaller patches opening, expanding, and contraction, you have to go back out there. So what you think is covered might not be covered anymore. So, anything else? Well, I appreciate you all coming to this meeting and explaining everything. And just again, thank you for all your work on this. Motion to
adjourn.
so move, second, all in favor? Aye, opposed, motion carries.
Rubio, number 2.
Sure. Item number 2, a communication from Robert Burns, tax assessor to the Honorable Mark Goldenhain, Chair Finance Committee, for tax stabilization agreement for 125 Block Avenue. I move to take this up.
Second. It's been moved by Council Rubio, seconded by Council Moran, that we take up a communication from Rob Burns, tax assessor to the Honorable, I don't know, how'd you come up with the word honorable, for God's sakes?
It just came to my mind. I just don't know.
I don't know how.
Are there alternatives?
Chairman of Finance, tax stabilization agreement.
Honorable was
Oh, no, no.
better.
Honorable.
No, that was taken.
To the guy that sits in the chair.
Honorless.
To the tax stabilization agreement for 125 Gough Avenue. It's motion been made, take it up. All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm like, I don't, yeah, it's just winging a prayer. Bob?
So, Mr. Chairman, I'm here with Aurora Lee, who represents Lofts 125 Landlord LLC, who is erecting a building, 137 units, on the second land condominium lot at 125 Bluff Avenue. She's approached me for a tax stabilization agreement for 15 years, with a final value of $15 million. And that is in accordance with the ordinance as it's written. So if you have any questions, I'm sure I'll take.
No, we're well familiar with Aurora. As I've told her in past meetings, we really do appreciate your business in the city. You've come through not only this tax stabilization, but you've come through other tax stabilizations, and you've held up your part of the bargain, and it's been appreciated, believe me. So we see no different with this one, at least from my perspective when I looked it over. Does the committee have any questions for anybody? Council?
How are you?
Good, how are you?
It's been a very long time.
Yes.
So I was just curious, how many projects are currently in process or completed?
Completed, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5 completed.
5 completed, and we have 2 in progress. This is the bigger one. It's right next to the train station, 137 units. We have a small mill conversion at 225 Conan Street of 42 units.
Exciting.
Yes.
Now, out of the 5 completed, are those tax stabilizations as well?
So 3 of them don't. 2 of
There
them
was a
don't.
couple.
Beecher
Nolco,
Street's done.
Nolco is completed.
Correct.
That was done. That was 10 years ago. There was nothing on the 125 Bluff Avenue
Oh.
building.
Nothing on Waterloo.
Nothing on that's for, right? 327 Pine, she was just about 6 months ago for the treaty on that.
Mhm.
The 42 Conan Street.
Conan, 225 Conan.
225 Conan, that's gonna be a 5-year one, so that's administrative, because that's gonna be less than the dollar amount that we need to go to the council for. And that's it, so right now.
Dexter had a thing, but it's also.
Dexter's done as well, Dexter's really has.
So when you say the treaty is over, now we're getting these taxes.
The end dollars on those.
Okay, on them. Okay. So 3 down, and then you have this one more, right? You're saying 3 down out of the 5?
Yeah.
I think that's what.
Yes, so, but Whedon, 173 Whedon has.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah,
Okay,
that's it,
okay.
yeah.
That's, I think, on its 2nd year.
Mhm.
So Pine Street on its 1st year, Whedon Street is on the 2nd or 3rd year.
So I'm just curious, how has it helped you?
Oh, tremendously, tremendously.
Yeah.
And always tell everybody and fellow developers, Pawtucket has been amazing to work with. The stabilization program is very helpful because out of the gun, when the project is being built, it's a very heavy financial, and the banks are unforgiving, right? When the day comes, it doesn't matter what the market is, doesn't matter if you have delays, they want their full mortgage. So any help. Now we are in a market where housing is in shortage, so the units are renting faster, but before it would take good,
Right. Well, I remember from the PRA time that
Right,
when you started there.
right. It will take so long to fully rent them out. That it's absolutely a great help. 2,
It's a great help with lending as well. When bank sees tax break,
Mhm.
they will underwrite it as. So, and it's, they're more willing to give us construction loans and permanent loans and better rates. So it's great help. It's a great program.
Well, I'm glad it's
Great
been
program.
helpful, and thank you for doing business here.
Also, another mechanism is by saving the money on the tax, that affords them to probably go into another project.
That's correct.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
Feeds off
Yeah.
itself.
And I hope you also as a city, and we as a city, I guess I should say, benefit, and hopefully all these new residency will give rise to retail opportunities and commercial opportunities and, you know.
We hope so. And again, when we look at them, a lot of people complain about them, but when you look at the tax rate, and I said this to Bob, that the first year of your tax treaty is already 3 times more than what we were already collecting on the property. So it's a win-win for everybody. It helps you out, it helps us out. And we just look forward to turn around and continuing that partnership in the future.
By the way, the program also helps us to make a decision investing into more and more opportunities in Pawtucket.
Yeah. And we've heard that as well as from you, but other developers too, that our planning department and everything else, they enjoy working with them, helping them through the process. So it's always been a benefit. Director, do you have any comments?
I'm here if you had any questions for me.
No, I just wanted to turn around and give you the opportunity. So I'll entertain a motion if there's no more questions.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion has been made by Council Moran and seconded by Councilor Rubio to turn around and approve the to issue a favorable decision to the entire council to support the tax stabilization agreement for 125 Quave Avenue. All those in favor on a roll call vote? Yes, it has to be.
He worded it differently.
Aye.
Council Moran?
Yes.
Council Rubio?
Yeah.
3-0.
We're done. Have a nice night, everyone.
was born right.
All right. Ordinance committee will come to order. Clerk will call the roll.
Chairman Moran,
Here.
Council Codere.
Here.
Council Gregor,
Here.
3 in attendance.
Is there anyone for public input?
No, nobody is. Nobody.
All right, thank you. If you want to read, Council Kadir, number 2.
Number 2 is a communication from Aleppo LLC by attorneys Michael Horan Esquire and Monica Horan Esquire to the honorable members of the Pawtucket City Council petition to rezone land located at 10 Newport Avenue, AP 40 LI 015 from residential single family RS Commercial General CG. That's it, I or 1?
101, L101,
L1015.
like 10, actually 10, 15, okay. All right, you read the whole thing, right?
Uh-huh.
Do we do the
Before
second one
the
too at the
second.
same time? Should we?
Ken?
Yeah, why don't you read the next one too?
Okay. And item number 3 is a communication from Pawtucket Planning Department to the honorable members of the Pawtucket City Council submitting the Planning Commission's recommendation of approval regarding the amendment to the comprehensive plan and zoning ordinance for 10 Newport Avenue, AP 40L1015, changing from residential single family RS to commercial general CG.
All right, and we finally leave it for discussion. Motion made by Council Kadir, seconded by Council Gregor. Following communications be filed. Communication from Aleppo LLC by attorneys Michael and Monica Horan Esquire, the honorable members of the Pawtucket City Council. Petition to rezone land located at 10 Newport Avenue, Assessors Plat 40, Lot 1015, from residential single family to commercial general. And then a communication from the Pawtucket Planning Department to the honorable members of the Pawtucket City Council, submitting the Planning Commission's recommendation of approval regarding the amendment to the comprehensive plan and zoning ordinance for 10 Newport Avenue, Assessors Plat 40, Lot 1015, changing from residential single family to commercial general. Motion is to file the 2 communications. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Do we go right to the audience or just have them come up and discuss? We'll do
Go
the,
right to the ordinances and then.
Council Gregor, why don't you read number 4?
Number 4, an ordinance amendment of chapter 3124 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pawtucket, Rhode Island, 1996, amending the 2017 comprehensive plan, 10 Newport Avenue, AP 40 lot 1015.
Motion for discussions. Ordinance, motion made by Council Gregor, seconded by Council Kadir, that an ordinance and amendment of chapter 3124 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pawtucket, Rhode Island, 1996, amending the 2017 comprehensive plan, 10 Newport Avenue, Assessors Plat 40, Lot 1015, be brought up for discussion. How are you?
Thank you. How are you?
Good. Twice in a row. It's we haven't seen you in so long. Now we see you all the time.
Yeah, must be March. Where would you like us to sit?
Do you want to come closer? You can come closer. Yeah, why not? Like Knights of the Round Table if you sit over the other.
Mr. Clark.
Council Vitale, how are you, sir?
I'm well, and
Good.
yourself?
Good to see you. But if you want to just go over everything.
Yeah, so Aleppo LLC, which is Mr. Vitale is a principal in, is the owner of 10 Newport Avenue. This is the old Simpsons Pharmacy. As the council knows, this has been commercial for ever and ever. Now it's been sold to Aleppo LLC and they were going to keep it commercial, but because it's zoned residential single family, every time they get a new tenant in, they'll have to go to zoning, which does not make sense for this particular parcel. You can't turn it into residential. The surrounding neighborhood, I know, as you all know, is very commercial. So I do think it is conformance with the comprehensive plan to change this to commercial general. That's been the use of this property all along. So we are asking for this zone change. And obviously, Mr. Vitale is here to answer any questions. So.
Yeah, Al, did you want anything you want to add in?
Well, obviously we bought the property with the intentions of renting it or leasing it. We've had a minimum of 4 tenants, good anchor tenants, come to us to lease. When they go to City Hall and they went down and talked to John in the zoning, they find out that it's zoned residential and the lease that we drew up got thrown in the trash. So we've had four, national Verizon to be one. And, we had a couple of T-Mobile wanted to move back across to have a standalone kind of, thing going on. And, none of them, you know, we agree on a lease terms, the whole thing. They go to zoning and find out that it's zone residential. They're like, we're not going through all that because we signed this lease and the city council denies us, the ability to put a commercial establishment or a retail establishment in the building. We lose all our money. Because there's a caveat in the leases that they have to give us $10,000 until they get all their licenses and permits. So they're like, see ya, you know, we don't want to do it. And to ease the minds of the council, I know Terry, Councilman Mercer got some phone calls from neighbors, in regards to exit out the back. Can't happen. There's a fence and the Simpsons, I have pictures on my phone, but they installed lolly columns in the parking lot at the back end of the building, which you can't fit a car through. They're permanent. And then we also installed a fence with a gate only for our purposes, which would not allow cars to exit out the back into the neighborhood. Everything has to exit out Newport Avenue. And I'm sure when they come in front of the council, whoever it may be in the future, to open an establishment, and I'm very sensitive to this subject because I obviously served on the council for quite a while. I understand the neighbors' concerns. I knocked on some doors, all the people that I was told to, that were concerned. And I knocked on the doors and I put their minds at ease. They were afraid that we were gonna take the poles out and move the fence and people were gonna be exiting out the back through the neighborhood. Not gonna happen. And, you know, whatever license or business you guys license, it would obviously be, part of the stipulations on the license that would require them to exit out to Newport Avenue only. And that's my spiel. And you know, other than that, I mean, I think, we'll be good, obviously good tenants. I mean, good landlords, and make sure we get a good tenant. Because I don't want to deal with any headaches either, believe me.
Was Simpson's grandfather in? Is that why they were able to go, like, to be there as a business?
You know, I would presume, just because they were there for so long.
Yeah.
Because they were there as long.
Yeah,
as
I know.
I've been a
I
lawyer,
know, they've been
so
there a long time.
They built that building 69 years ago.
Oh, wow.
They opened the business 52 years ago. Legitimately, like the business, but they may not have even had a license, like they require now. Back in the 1957 is when the building was actually built, and it's been a commercial retail establishment.
Right.
And it's always been a pharmacy.
Right.
So, you know, the daughter's retired, the mom passed away, the father's got Alzheimer's, and so they, you know, they asked us if we wanted to buy it because we own the empty lot in East Providence,
Yep.
which is right next door.
Right.
And my mom's said, why not, you know?
Okay.
So that's why we wound up with the bill.
Director, you're good with it too, correct? I believe.
Yes, we recommend. Well, like sometimes zoning is not perfect, but this is a case where we're matching the existing.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it looks like it fits kind of like a glove, you know what I mean? It just makes all the sense. Frank, I don't know if you had any input on that at all on this.
No, I mean, from what I've gathered, it sounds like you're talking to the appropriate cases. It sounds like planning is giving a positive advisory. We don't know the history of it.
Right.
There's no question. Could very well be. If you go back to the 50s, that would be 1928.
Right.
Well, we really got uniform statewide in 66. So I think it makes sense so that you don't have to. So
Right.
if not, then we talk to around.
Yep. No, it doesn't make any sense.
It should have been done. Wow.
That's what I was gonna say. Why wasn't it done a while ago? Council Gregor, go ahead. Any questions?
Is the only issue from the neighbors was the fact that they wanted to maintain that exit from the back.
Correct.
Affecting the neighborhood.
Yeah, that was their only, I mean, I knocked on 4, and I spoke with the beauty salon at the end of the street. That was their main concern, the Whites and the Coopers. They've been living there. My cousin actually was one of them, Joe Cantone, who lives down the end of Gloria. And he mentioned it to me, he picked up the phone and called me, and and he said, our only concern is people, you removing the poles that are there currently that the Simpsons installed to keep people from exiting. And quite frankly, they didn't even allow their delivery trucks, because they delivered prescriptions to the high rises and the elderly. They didn't even exit out the back. Nobody did. And that was something that they did to obviously be good neighbors, and not have to deal with any of the repercussions. God forbid somebody exited out the back and wound up in someone's front yard. So that's a very quiet neighborhood. It's a kind of like a horseshoe setup. You come in and you can go out another street. And the kids play in the street and that sort of thing. So we, as the owners of the building, we're not going to allow it to ever be removed, those poles. And there's also a fence that we installed ourselves when we purchased the building, because there were a couple landscape companies who are unrelated to the neighborhood. They were parking their work vehicles in the back of the building like it was like they own the place. It was crazy. So we had to put a fence up for that, for liability purposes more than anything. But the neighbors were pumped when we did that, because they didn't have to deal with those trucks coming in and out of their neighborhood in the mornings when they were leaving to work. So I think that's been resolved, that problem.
No, I'm just gonna.
Yeah, go ahead.
And you don't have any prospective tenants?
We lost 4 good tenants, like national chains. And I think with the action that's going on across the street, with Papanato's starting to build up plaza across the street finally after 100 years, it seems like. We're starting to get a little more interest in the property. So I think we'll probably get a tenant, hopefully by the end of the summer, with any luck. But it's just, it's very difficult, obviously, when they went to City Hall to find out, what they needed to do to get a license to operate. And they told them retail. So they're like, well, we invest, our money and sign a lease. And then we go to the city council and they say, no, we're not going to change zoning from residential to retail or commercial general. They walk. They say, no, thank you. We're not interested. Good luck in the future, kind of thing.
Right.
And that's kind of what happened to us. So yeah, we'd like to get somebody in there long term, national chain, not a fly by night, or somebody's going to go in there for a year and then go out of business. We're going to hold out until we get somebody that can do a minimum of 10, 5 and 5 kind of thing, and or even longer term than that. One of the businesses Verizon wanted 25 years.
That's good.
So that's the kind of tenant we're looking for. And I think they'll come because of the action across the street. They're building a Starbucks, and they did the Verizon store, moved across the street. They built a brand new building. I think there's a chicken pollo campañanos or something like that. Can't remember the exact pronunciation. Then I think there's supposed to be a Wendy's going in next door to T-Mobile. So there's going to be a lot of activity. So I think that'll help us.
Does the property border East Providence?
It does.
Yeah, it's close.
The empty lot
It's right
next
there.
door is East Providence. It's zoned commercial C2 or R3. So they've told us, and we have documentation, that if Pawtucket, if East Providence, if we do a commercial development there or a residential 2-family, then Pawtucket had agreed at that time to allow the same use of the property. And the only piece of that property that's in Pawtucket is really a real small piece at the end. That, I want to say it's Glen.
I was just gonna ask you.
Yeah.
It's not Glen Meadows, it's, well, I guess on one side of Glen Meadows would be. I used to know it, the street that's been cut off right.
Right, it's got a Jersey barrier there.
That East Providence lot goes very deep.
It
right?
does. It's 98 feet front.
Yeah.
On Newport Ave, and it opens up to 140 feet in the rear.
And then probably 1,000 or so, right, going back.
No, because there's a piece in the middle between Kentucky Fried Chicken and that empty lot is owned by DOT. They were gonna put an industrial
Yeah,
highway
that's-
through
they're gonna
there.
extend the industrial highway. I just assumed it was.
We never bought, we couldn't buy it. We couldn't
So
buy
they
it.
still own, and I've had problems with the back end of that.
Yeah,
down to
they own that.
Green Lane, that's the name of it.
Green Lane.
Going down to Green Lane with, homeless encampments and stuff like that.
We
We don't own it, we don't own it, we don't own
Yeah.
it. It's actually, DOT that owns it.
DOT owns it, but we've gone in there and we've removed with the assistance of the East Providence Police Department, a couple of tenants
So how about if you're facing Simpsons, the building to the right?
to the right. That's
The mortgage company, it was for a long time actually a residence.
right, but they do tax.
Yeah, they're doing
Right,
taxes.
Right,
yeah.
the mortgage company now tax, you
and-
don't own that property. right?
No, nope.
And that's zoned, do we know, Director?
That was on,
think
I think that's on commercial.
Which property are we talking about?
To the right, to
That's right.
To the right, we're going back,
the right.
facing it to the right, it's,
The
Between
ones in Pawtucket are commercial. This is the residential one.
yeah.
That's only one. This is the only one.
It was formerly a house, which
Yeah.
is now a business.
Yeah.
That's zoned commercial, that's right, what we're looking to move.
The Kutus used to live there years ago when they had where Los Rosarios used to be a horse
Yeah.
transport company. They used to ship horses from Narragansett Racetrack. So they lived right next door in that house for 100 years.
And you've spoken to the folks on Gloria?
I did, and they were all very pleased with, first of all, the fact that I actually took the time to come to their houses and speak with them. And I spoke with Mr. Cooper, and I spoke with his grand, I want to say it's his mother. That just passed, she passed, Signy, she
Yeah,
passed,
she passed.
but the father's still there, and he was like, yeah, well, just,
You talked to
just
Mike, and you talked to Mike's father,
and Scott,
and Scott.
yeah. And I spoke with a woman that was
No relation, but her name.
one that lives right behind Los Rosarios. And I did speak with Mr. White across the street, Danny.
Yep.
Across the street, and they were all okay. After I spoke with them, they were happy that I actually took the time to go talk with them and get their concerns.
I did get a couple phone calls and they were wondering what was going on.
Yeah.
Once I explained to them what I understood and once they explained their concern about it being a cut through and all the rest and that it wouldn't happen, number one, it can't happen right now. And as long as I'm on a council, I wouldn't let it happen.
Right.
So glad you took the initiative to go there. This seems to make sense. Right? Could not, even if it's grandfathered in, I know it's non-conforming use. But it makes sense to me. I've been away for yesterday, today, and tomorrow in Boston for work, but I drove back here for this very reason. I want to make sure that everybody's on the same page and that this is, that the residents in that area understand that this is not going to be some sea change where they're going to be overrun. So nobody called in for public input, right?
Correct.
Well, so that's kind of indicative of it, I think, between talking with me and talking with you, that their concerns have been allayed just a bit, so. I don't have a problem with this.
Okay. The other thing too is whoever the tenant may be. I mean, right, there's a good chance they may put some sort of security cameras in the back too, you would hope.
Right. We just to even go one step further, we have a chain link, it's a 4-foot chain link fence that we installed. Prevent the landscaper from parking and all that. We wouldn't be opposed to if the council so wished, when they issue a license to whomever, to put a 6-foot stockade fence across the back to buffer the neighborhood. I mean, I like I say, I'm conscious of what residents want,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't,
It's,
I wouldn't do that to them.
I'll ask this question of you, Frank, as opposed to, Monica, but in approving this, can it be done with a stipulation that the border be secured in some way?
Yeah, you can put reasonable limitations, conditions, restrictions.
Well,
And I was gonna wait and kind of throw that out at the tail end, as Al has said, at least 5 times. And I'm not being sarcastic, right, that you're amenable to that happening.
Absolutely.
So rather than wait for licensing, why not just make that?
Right.
And that's kind of why I'm asking. That will go a long way with the neighbors.
Of course.
So when a
And-
licensing issue comes up,
Yep.
they don't have to come down here about this. So I would just make that suggestion if you were going to bring it to the council with a motion for approval, a recommendation for approval, that it be stipulated now that.
Could you add-
be-
Could you add to that if for any reason the fire department in other words, make access, leave access for fire apparatus?
Exception would be an exception.
Yeah,
Fire
I
department
mean, because
access.
if, God forbid, it's a restaurant or it's a doctor's office and the ambulance needs to get in. I mean, they go down residential streets on a regular basis, ambulances and fire trucks anyway. But just leave us the ability to open the back gate for fire or police, something of that nature, just so that we have the
Emergency
ability,
vehicle.
correct.
You could hammer that out some way in legalese that it is a hard stop at that, property line with egress and
Yeah,
transport solely for emergency purposes.
Right.
Emergency vehicles.
Because one of the neighbors had mentioned to me dumpster. If you do a commercial building over there, where's they gonna put the dumpster? They're gonna put it up against the house, the back, and come in at 6 a.m. to empty the dumpster. That won't be, we won't allow
So
that.
that will, that would be a licensing stipulation too.
Okay,
Unless, you don't know what you're gonna use it for now.
correct.
So I'd be okay without an additional stipulation on dumpster siting, just so you know that.
Yeah, you could
on the
do-
Council, and it's a fast food joint, it's going to be on the East Providence line,
Correct. And we own
out-
that,
out by,
Newport Ave.
Newport Ave.
I got you.
If you're going to amend the ordinance, the zoning ordinance, you need to address that in the hearing. Because that's
Okay.
the rules. You have to, right?
Just saying you can't amend it here.
No, what I'm saying is if you're going to amend the zoning ordinance because the hearing's just on the zoning ordinance, not on the comp plan ordinance. If you're going to amend a zoning one, any zoning ordinance, not just this one.
Yeah.
If you're gonna make an amendment,
Which is what we're doing right now. We're amending the zone.
ordinance, you have to address it at the public hearing, during the public hearing, so that if anybody wants to get up and comment on the amendment, that they can do so.
Do it on the floor.
So,
Yeah, we can do that. I just, between now and then, if we can, that's accomplished now that the Board of Licensing. So we've got a few minutes, maybe you guys can work out some language that you pose to us on the floor.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I just have a couple of follow-up. So, you're not intending on selling the property anytime soon, right?
No. No, absolutely not. That's for the grandkids.
Okay.
That's kind of what we did. We own another building down the end in Rumford, also similar, the Dunkin' Donuts building in Rumford, Newport Avenue. And those are the buildings, these are the big, that's why my mom bought it, actually. She wanted to be able to have something to leave. Obviously not to us, we're too old, but our kids, So that's kind of that was her mindset when she purchased the property. We bought it was pretty expensive, piece of property. But that was the main concern. So no, it's not something that we're gonna flip. No, absolutely not.
Just so I'm clear, the property is entirely in Pawtucket with borders.
Yes,
East
yep,
Providence?
the whole thing is in Pawtucket. The boundary on I want to say the south side of the parking lot is East Providence.
No, no, I just wanted to, you know, I'm in agreement. It's been, you know,
No, I
for a long time.
Sure.
And you're planning on keeping it in the family.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those that we keep.
And I appreciate the fact that you went and talked to people and also notice East Providence as the neighboring municipality.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions or concerns? So we would entertain a motion to approve number 4, and then as far as number 5, is that where we would put in an amendment now, or how would that work?
Well, you would have to, I mean, you're gonna have to work out the language, to put the amendment in.
So what do we do now?
Do it on the, you would.
For this point, we can say,
Recommend approval.
well, just approval in general, nothing.
With an amendment to be worked out on,
Okay,
on.
all right, that's number 5 only, okay, all right. All right, so, Nisi, why don't you take number 4, and then, make a motion to approve. Number 4.
Just without saying.
Correct. You can just read that and
Just
then
number
just say
4?
motion to approve, yeah.
I make a motion to approve item number 4, an ordinance and amendment of chapter 3124 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pawtucket, Rhode Island, 1996, amending the 2017 Comprehensive Plan, 10 Newport Avenue, AP 40 L1015. I move for approval.
Motion made by Council Kadir, seconded by Council Gregor, that approval be given to an ordinance and amendment of chapter 3124 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pawtucket, Rhode Island, 1996, amending the 2017 Comprehensive Plan, 10 Newport Avenue, Assessors Plat 40, Lot 1015. Motion is to approve the ordinance on a roll call vote. Any discussion? Clerk will call a roll.
Chairman Moran.
Yes.
Council Codere.
Yes.
Council Gregor.
Yes.
3-0.
Council Gregor, why don't you take number 5, and then at the end of it, motion to approve with, I guess what, with an amendment?
With an amendment regarding the back of the property.
Yeah, the back of the property. And then we'll work it out after.
Number 5, an ordinance, an amendment of chapter 410 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pawtucket, 1996, entitled zoning, amendment to zoning map from residential single family RS to commercial general CG zoning district, 10 Newport Avenue, AP 40, lot 1015, with an amendment stipulation or amendment.
An amendment regarding the back of the property.
Amendment regarding the back of the property to be discussed, I guess.
Approved on a roll call vote.
Second.
All right, motion made by Council, Gregor, seconded by Council Kadir, that approval on a roll call vote be given to an ordinance and amendment of chapter 410 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pawtucket, 1996, entitled zoning, amendment to zoning map from residential single family to commercial general zoning district, 10 Newport Avenue, assesses plat 40, lot 1015, with an amendment to be worked out shortly regarding the back of the property. Any discussion? Clerk will call the roll.
Chairman Moran.
Yes.
Council Codere.
Yes.
Council Gregor.
Yes.
3-0.
With no further business, we will adjourn as the ordinance committee. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you are currently waiting online for a public input, can you please press the raise hand button at this time? And I see no hands.
Hey, good evening. Welcome to our Freight Street temporary headquarters and temporary chambers. There is no public input tonight. Nobody signed up either in person or online. So we're going to move directly to the Board of License Commissioners. I will call a meeting to order. Clerk will call a roll. Here.
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 Mr. President, I call for approval of item number 1, which is the previous minutes for March 3rd, 2026 and March 11th, 2026.
The move by Councilor Russo, second by Councilor Wildenhain, that approval be given to the minutes of the March 3rd and March 11th meetings. Are there any amendments, concerns, deletions, additions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I call for approval of item number 2, the consent agenda, which is only one item, public skating, Lynch Arena, Albany Road, Pawtucket LLC.
The move by Councilor Russo, second by Councilor Moreno, that approval be given to item 2, the consent agenda dealing with just one license. It's a public skating renewal for Lynch Arena at 25 Andrew Furland Way. Is there any discussion on the approval of the renewal? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Item number 3 is advertised for a public hearing, auto repair and secondhand shop licenses, Class B, selling used parts. Vigo Auto Service LLC, 707 Broadway, license number AUT-26-4, previously J&K Auto and Repair, Claudio A. Regaldo Perdomo. My motion is to convene this public hearing.
Is this you, Dave?
Which one is this?
Broadway? 707 Broad, it is? All right. Been moved by Councilor Arujo, second by Councilor Moran, that we convene a public hearing regarding auto repair and secondhand shop licenses, Class B, selling used parts. Vigo Auto Service LLC, 707 Broadway, be license number AUT-26-4. This is previously J&K Auto Repair, Claudio A. Regaldo Perdomo. I declare the public hearing open. Mr. Perdomo, are you here? If you could step forward, sir. If you could first give your name and home address to the clerk in the blue shirt there. You can do it from there, yes.
On the bottom, on the base, sir.
There you go.
The green light will be on.
Right. So my name is Argelis Cruz Perdomo. I live on 274 North Top Street in Cranston, Rhode Island.
Argelis D. Cruz Perdomo.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Perdomo, just for clarification, you're not Claudio?
No, I'm not
Is that
Claudio.
a family member?
That's my brother.
And is
I'm
he,
my brother from the same mom, but different father.
is he the principal in the LLC?
No. It's a new business. It's different owner, different name. He's not there anymore. I bought the business from
Okay,
him.
so he was J&K.
He was J
Gotcha.
and K.
He's a relative, and you have purchased this, and you're looking to
Yes.
transfer the license over
Yes.
to you now. Okay, I
Yes.
get it. I get it. It's just the last name threw me off when I said Perdomo when you came forward.
Yeah, it's
So,
the same. Yeah.
I was wearing that same shirt earlier today.
Oh, thank
Good
you.
taste.
Yeah, that was my wife. My wife chose
Me
it.
too.
That's
So-
in your opinion.
So this is a public hearing for that Class B, that Class B selling used parts license. It's in Council Moran's district, so I'm going to turn it over to him.
Thank you, Mr. President. Have you been in this business before yourself or?
Yes.
Okay, where have you? Been?
In Providence. I forgot the address, but was previously before I go back to college for my master in business. And now that I finished my master, I decided buy another business and have the same business that I had previously.
Did you own that business as well, or did you help somebody with that business?
Which business? With the previous one?
Yeah, the previous one. Yeah.
Yes, I used to be the one that managed the English because he didn't speak English. So
Okay.
even I was in college, but I helped him with the legal part.
Any other people would be working with you or just you or who else would you have?
Yes, I have a secretary and now I have a mechanic.
Mechanic. Okay.
Yeah, technician that works with us now.
And then how many bays are over there right now? How many? Two bays?
Two lift and there's a short bay too. That is like for us.
And what are you looking for? Hours of operation and days of the week?
We're gonna work from Sunday through Friday, with the regular hours. We're expecting like 8 to 6 p.m. Sunday through Friday.
No, you mean Saturday or?
No, we're not open Saturdays
Wait,
based on religion. Oh, we can operate on Sunday?
No, I've never heard that before. I mean, I'm not from you. I'm saying I never heard anybody want to work on a Sunday. But why don't we?
So when I asked the city clerk, she never specified to me, but that's the hours of regulation that we post.
Yeah, those are the hours, but I think the days of the week are not. They don't include Sunday, right, Rick?
Okay.
So
Now I
is that? I mean, that would have to be fine for you. As I was going to say, I was surprised. I was going to say Sunday again, but
Yeah, we try to because we try to have a day off for the guys, you know.
Yep.
They used to work 7 days a week, but
Correct.
that's very overwhelming. So,
so you're good. I mean,
that's the thing that I'm a 7-day Adventist, so I respect the Sabbath like a Jewish. So that is why we open on Sunday because we keep the Sabbath.
Okay.
So.
But are you going to be? I mean, you're good with that because you're going to have to flip
If
it.
I have
Sunday is prohibited.
Yeah, you
So,
can't.
Yeah.
You know, it's
I
up to you
understand.
whether you can staff it on
Yeah.
Saturdays in some manner or if you'd prefer not to.
Yeah, I can
Sunday's
talk-
kind of non-negotiable.
I can talk to the guys and we can try to switch that out and we can make it happen. I didn't know that it was because in the past, the previous owner always opened on Sunday, but I didn't know that the city prohibited on Sundays.
I didn't know either.
I suspect we didn't know.
I didn't know either.
No,
Um.
but I have no problem with that. I can figure it out.
All right. So you're good with that. You'll be able to work something
I
out
have
there.
to make it, right?
Right. You're gonna have to make it. You have no choice. All right. So hours of operation, as far as certainly, are you selling? You're not selling vehicles, right? It's not.
No, we're not
Yeah,
selling vehicles.
Just auto
No.
repair.
In
Okay.
the future, I wish that I can have the dealer license, but it's a big process
Okay.
with the state and the
Right.
DMV. And I know that I have to clean the place first because it's
Okay.
been very deorganized.
Are you looking to do any type of renovations or anything to the place at all, or is it in pretty good shape?
Well, I don't own the building.
Okay.
I have to go through the owner of
The
the
owner.
building with the landlord.
Okay.
But I guess something have to be done in the future because it's very, we need to make something more fashionable or more beautiful for the
All right.
people.
And you have proper lighting out there too, if you're open and it's dark out in the winter and stuff.
Oh
so
no, we have
you're
a
good with
lot of
that.
lights. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't have any other questions. I don't know if anybody else does.
Does anybody else have any questions for Mr. Perdomo? So I'm going to have you just stand there for just 1 second, Mr. Perdomo. I'm going to see, is there anybody else here to speak at this public hearing regarding this license application? And I assumed there were not. Anybody online? In that case, if you'll stay right there, Mr. Perdomo, I'm going to declare the public hearing closed and I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I will make a motion to approve the auto repair and secondhand shop license, Class B selling used auto parts, Vigo Auto Service LLC, 707 Broadway, license number AUT 26-4, previously J&K Auto Repair, Claudio A. Regalado, Perdomo. A motion to approve on a motion to approve.
Second.
Been moved by Councilor Moran, second by both Councilor Gregor and Councilor Codier, that approval be given to the auto repair and secondhand shop license for a Class B selling used parts for Vigo Auto Service LLC, 707 Broadway, license number AUT 26-4. Is there any discussion on the motion to approve? In that case, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, sir. Good luck.
Good
Thank
luck.
you. Have a
Will do. Item number 4, the following public hearing was closed and the license was postponed at the meeting held on March 11th, 2026, and is again taken up. Auto repair and secondhand shop licenses, Class B selling used parts, Woodlawn Auto Service, Woodlawn WR Auto Service Corp., 77 Mineral Spring Avenue, license number AUT 26-1, previously Woodlawn Auto Service, Gary Day Verducci. My motion is to reconvene this public hearing.
It's been moved by Counselor Arujo, second by Counselor Stakoviak, that the following public hearing that was closed and the license was postponed at a meeting held on March 11th is again taken up. It's an auto repair and secondhand shop licenses, Class B, selling used parts. It's Woodlawn Auto Service, Woodlawn WR Auto Service Corp., 77 Mineral Spring Avenue, license number AUT-26-1. This was previously Woodlawn Auto Service, Gary J. Verducci. The public hearing had been closed, so I'm going to just call up the, it had been closed, correct?
Yep.
Call up the applicant, Mr. Verducci. If you could come forward, sir. Once again, can you both give your name and home address to the clerk?
Pedro.
Your last name?
Pedro.
Last name and your address, please. Last name?
Figueroa.
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 And your address? Address, where do you live?
Del taller. La mía. 28 de la Cruz Street, Pawtucket.
What is it?
28.
28.
28, what street?
Cross Street.
No, Central 4. Déjame ver.
Cross Street.
Cruz Street. Central 4, en Central 4. Ay, estoy confundido.
Cross Street?
Yeah. Primer piso.
¿Qué piso?
Primero.
First floor.
Yeah. Mr. Pedro Figueroa, 28 Cross Street, Central Falls.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Figueroa. Is he going to need somebody to help him translate or?
Will you ladies help? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, one of
All
you,
right.
God, one of you go.
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say, I did talk to the owner, Mr. Ramos, on the phone. He's in New Jersey, recovering from a pretty big medical emergency with family. He's recovering in New Jersey. That's why he's in New Jersey. But I did talk to him. We had a good conversation. So basically, Mr. Figueroa, I just want to clarify with you, because you'll be managing in the meanwhile, that there is no outside repair.
Estuve hablando con el dueño del negocio y él está en New Jersey y está indispuesto de salud. Entonces usted va a estar en manejo del negocio. Y si usted sabe que no puede estar arreglando carros afuera.
Okay. That the
Eso fue una pregunta.
No, no sabía.
No.
Okay.
Ella pregunta que si usted sabe que no puede arreglar carros afuera. Se lo dijo en la reunión anterior.
No, ellos me dijeron que sí se arreglaba, pero no me dijeron que no podía.
I was told that I was asked that if I fix cars outside, but I was not told that I can fix cars outside.
no outdoor repairs, I'm pretty sure, on the license.
En la licencia no te-
Yeah, that's the issue, yeah, but
El problema
With this
en la
license, there's no
licencia
outside
dice que no puede tener reparaciones afuera.
and I made it clear to the owner.
Y yo se lo aclaré al dueño.
Mhm.
Y él está de acuerdo.
Yep. It cannot be open on Sundays. I did get some calls from some residents that they have seen repairs on Sundays being done.
No pueden operar los domingos. Y he tenido llamadas de personas diciendo que lo han visto arreglando carros los domingos.
Yep. I just want to make sure, because you're on a main road, that we're not parking any vehicles that are needed to be worked on throughout the week overnight on the street parking.
Y como está en una avenida principal, quiero asegurarme de que no tengan carros estacionados en calles alrededor.
Yeah, and the lot's pretty big. I did drive by today on my way here just to, check it out on my way here, obviously. And I did notice that one of the entrances was blocked by cars, so none of the exits or entrances should be blocked.
Y yo personalmente estuve manejando alrededor y me di cuenta que una de las calles estaba bloqueada por carros de su taller.
It was around 6:30, so.
como a las 6:30.
Yeah.
Council was.
Una de las salidas.
Yes, yes.
No calle, salida.
Exit door or?
No, the lot,
The lot.
lot to come in,
The curb.
the curb lot.
On Conant Street.
O en la curva del estacionamiento
Just-
estaba bloqueado.
Just make sure the cars are organized.
Que se asegure de que los carros estén organizados.
But I did speak to the owner. I reiterated almost all of this besides the cars being organized because I just saw it today.
Yo estuve hablando con el dueño y le dije todo esto y él está de acuerdo con lo que le estuve comentando.
If anybody else has any questions?
No, so just, I was just asked this one question. The counselor says she's made it clear
Mhm.
to the property owner.
Yep.
Can you just ask him if he is clear on all of the things that she said and understands that his boss is also clear on?
¿Usted está claro de todo lo que le ha dicho la concejal y de que su jefe está de acuerdo con lo que ha dicho la concejal?
Sí.
Yes.
Yeah, we had a good conversation.
Does anybody else have any questions?
¿Usted tiene alguna pregunta?
No, está bien.
No, it's okay.
Okay. Yeah, and I know the owner said he's still managing it while he's recovering, but that Mr. Figueroa is taking over while he's healing, so.
Yo sé que el dueño, a pesar de que está afuera, él está en control aunque usted esté manejándolo aquí, él también está en control del negocio.
Está bien.
Okay.
Okay, so we closed the public hearing at the last meeting, so I can entertain a motion.
I move to approve the license for the auto repair and second-hand shop license, Class B, selling used parts, Woodlawn Auto Service, Woodlawn WR Auto Service Corp., 77 Middle Spring Ave, license, AUT 26-1, previously Woodlawn Auto Service, Gary J. Viducci.
Second.
Been moved by Councilor Stakoviak, second by Councilor Codier, that approval be given to an auto repair and secondhand shop license for Class B selling used parts. Woodlawn Auto Service, Woodlawn WR Auto Service Corp., 77 Middle Spring Avenue, license number AUT-26-1 is the question. Do you want those stipulations
Yes.
on there?
Yes, please.
Okay, so give me a second.
Yeah.
We'll redo this after you give me.
Yes,
Okay,
sorry
so
about
What
that.
are the stipulations? No outdoor repair
No outdoor repair, no overnight parking on public street.
on either Conant
Or
or
Middle
Middle
Spring.
Spring.
Yep.
No overnight.
And then, the other one was the cars on the lot should be organized and not covering exits or entrances into the lot. Or however you want to word it. I think that was it, because I think yeah, but open on
That-
Sundays on the license
that's on-
already. Yeah, so.
Okay, so it's been moved by Councilor Stakoviak, seconded by Councilor Codier. That approval be given to the auto repair and secondhand shop license Class B selling used parts for Woodlawn Auto Service, Woodlawn WR Auto Service Corp., 77 Middle Spring Avenue, license number AUT-26-1 with the following stipulations. Number one, no outdoor repairs to be done on vehicles. Number two, no overnight parking of vehicles on city streets. Number three, cars stored on the lot shall be organized so as to not block the lot entrances.
Mhm.
Did I do good?
Yeah.
Okay. Any discussion on that motion with those stipulations? In that case, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Okay, you're all set, sir. Good luck.
Oh, good. Gracias.
Okay, great. Before I take item number 5, I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to introduce 3 communications.
The move by Councilor Ruzo, second by Councilor Moran, that we amend the agenda for the purpose of introducing 3 communications. Any discussion on the motion to amend the agenda? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I'd like to make a motion to file three communications, two of them from one, Mr. Gregory Mancini, with objecting that they have claims from the previous license holder for Mancini Beverages owing $1,814 on one of the letters. Also, the second letter was from Mancini Beverages from $12,998.70, and CNC Distribution for $4,013.83. And the final third communication from Paul Pisano Esquire on behalf of Johnson Brothers of RI Incorporated for the amount of $6,429.01.
Moved by Council Ruzo, second by Council Moran. That we file three separate letters filing claims on beverages. The first is from Sanapi Law Associates, and then on behalf of Mancini Beverage in the amount of $1,814. Another letter from Sanapi Law Associates on behalf of Mancini Beverage in the amount of $12,998.70, as well as CNC Distribution at $4,013.83. And finally, from attorney Paul Pisano on behalf of his client, Johnson Brothers of RI, in the amount of $6,429.01. Any discussion on filing these three documents? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Item number 5 is advertised for public hearing. Class A transfer of ownership and location 401 Liquors, Rhode Island Liquor Investment LLC, 465 Lonsdale Avenue, LQA-26-1, transfer from CJ Wine and Spirit Superstore, Nestors LLC at 593 Whedon Street. My motion is to convene this public hearing.
Short district. It's been moved by Councilor Aruja, second by Councilor Stacovier. That way we convene a public hearing regarding Class A transfer of ownership and location for 401 Liquors, Rhode Island Liquors Investments LLC, 465 Lonsdale Avenue, license number LQA-26-1. This would be a transfer from CJ's Wine and Spirits Superstore, Nestor's LLC at 593 Whedon Street. The motion is to convene a public hearing. I declare the public hearing open. Is the applicant from 401 Liquors here? Sir, if you could come forward, please. And if you,
Those are the three claims.
and if you could please give your name and home address to the clerk.
Keith Gillis, 64 Oakland Ave, Roarville, Rhode Island. Can you spell your last name for me? Gillis. And your address again, please? 64 Oakland Ave. And that is in Burrowville? Yeah. Burrowville? Yes. Mr. Keith Gillis, 64 Oakland Avenue, Burrowville, Rhode Island.
Mr. Gillis, thank you. You are the principal in 401 Liquors, is that right?
I'm here on behalf of the owner. I'll actually be managing the store.
Are you an attorney or are you?
No, just a manager.
You'll be managing the store?
Yes.
Okay. This likewise is in Council Stacoviac's district, so I'm going to turn it over to her.
Hi, Mr. Gillis.
Hi.
We did talk about those letters that you just got from the clerk. Tell me, how long have you been managing CJ's?
No, not CJ's.
Okay, I'm sorry. What is it?
I've been in other stores.
Oh, okay, okay. But you're gonna be managing 401 Liquors. Okay, and this is in the plaza with Price, right?
Correct.
And it's taking over an existing spot already, an existing liquor store?
There was a store there previously that moved, yes.
Okay. Are you guys doing any renovations, any upgrades?
Probably just some work on the inside, painting, picking up the floor, maybe some new shelving, things like that, just to spruce up the inside.
When do you plan on opening?
Depending on approval, couple months maybe,
Okay. How many employees are gonna be in addition to you?
3 to 6 on average.
Okay. What are the hours of operation?
They would be 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and then Sundays 10 to 6. What would the hour? Monday through Saturday,
9
9
to 10.
a.m. to 10 p.m. Sundays 10 to 6.
How long have you been managing stores?
I've been in the liquor industry for 20 plus years.
I guess my other question is, what about like security? I'm assuming you guys will put up camera, you'll
Yes,
have.
yeah,
you
we'll
said
have security systems.
Yep. Um. Okay, it is a transfer into a new location. Anybody else have any questions?
Does anybody else on the board have any questions?
Okay.
What is your pleasure, Counselor?
I think
I-
we
I-
close.
Well, I
Oh,
I
yes.
have to still, so just stay right there if you would, Mr. Gillis. Is there anybody here tonight for this public hearing who wishes to speak at this public hearing on this license? Okay, and Dante, anybody online? Okay, in that case, I will declare the public hearing closed and entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve this Class A transfer of ownership and location for 401 Liquors, RI Liquor Investments LLC to 465 Lonsdale Ave, license LQA 261. It's a transfer from CJ's Wine and Spirits Superstore and Nestor's LLC at 593 Whedon Street.
The move by Councilor Stakoviak, second by Councilor Moreno, that the approval be given to a Class A transfer of ownership and location for 401 Liquors, Rhode Island Liquor Investments LLC, 465 Lonsdale Avenue, license number LQA-26-1. This is a transfer and relocation of CJ's Wine and Spirit Superstore from 593 Whedon Street. Is there any discussion about the motion to approve? In that case, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. You're all set, sir. Good luck.
Thank you.
Item number 6 is advertised for public hearing. Class B victular new with outdoor seating, a cruise events and art gallery, a cruise events and art gallery LLC, 249 Main Street, license number LQB-26-4 ENT. My motion is to convene this public hearing.
Second.
The move by Councilor Ruzo, second by Councilor Codier, that a public hearing be convened regarding a Class B victual license new with outdoor seating, a cruise events and art gallery, the Cruise Events and Art Gallery LLC, 249 Main Street, license number LQB-26-4. The motion is to convene the public hearing. I would declare the public hearing open, and you beat me to the punch. You're up here, sir.
Sorry.
Would you give your name and address to the clerk? Home address, that is.
James Montero. I recently moved. I'm at 47 Cathedral Avenue, Providence, Rhode Island, 02908. I mean, yeah. Yeah.
News it.
But I confused Pawtucket and
The James Montero, 47 Cathedral Avenue, Providence, Rhode Island.
yes.
Mr. Montero, welcome. This license request is in District 4, which is Councilor Codier, so I'm going to turn that over to her.
Thank you, Mr. President. How are you, Mr. Montero?
Good. How you doing?
My first question will be, the tables outside, how many tables you will have outside?
I start out with like 2, 3 because
3.
we're not done with the restaurant part.
Yes. And how many chairs per table? Because if it's outside,
3, 4.
how big is the
Oh,
the area?
It's huge.
It's big,
Yeah.
okay. How many employees you will have?
Well, I got to work that over with the boss.
You have-
But she's my wife. And then I want to get like 2 servers, and then we have like 2 other bartenders that work when she doesn't want to work.
Is your wife tip certified?
Oh, she is. Yeah.
And I know that we spoke about this before, and you know that there is no smoking, no
Yeah.
hookah, no. Okay. And what will be the hours?
12 to 1. I'll probably get there like 11 because we're gonna prep food and stuff.
12
PM.
p.m. Okay,
1
12 p.m. to 1 a.m.
That's when I want to be open. But we'll be there at 11. At least, well, she's gonna be there early.
So, are you using so you will be renting it for parties? You using it as a venue, or you will be entertainment?
No, we've been doing events
Events.
already. Well, we're opening up the restaurant part. I had owned the pizza place across the street. I built
Yes.
that. I built the coffee shop. I owned that, and I built the bar too. But I moved across the street,
Mhm.
and I left all that because it was just too much for me. So I'm across the street now. But I'm putting the restaurant in there.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I have no more other questions.
Okay.
Councilor Rubio.
I guess I'm just a little confused. This is going to be a restaurant or an events and art gallery space?
So you can come there and eat and be exposed to beautiful art. And we do events also because people like the space, but it'll be like an event. And plus I've been doing events and everybody brings their own food. So I might as well start selling food.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense for me not to sell food.
So what type of license are you going for?
The liquor license and well, I just got the thing from the Department of Health for the restaurant.
As a restaurant license is what you're
Yeah.
looking for.
Yeah,
So
everything.
this is,
and
there's,
liquor.
there's two. The public hearing is on the Class B. And the one after that, it doesn't require a public hearing, but that's the victualling house.
I'm looking at, sorry, I'm looking at this.
Oh, there was two events. One was, that. Oh,
The event that you had
Yeah.
last meeting you came.
Got it.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is across the street from where you previously had the pizzeria, right?
yes.
Where is the outdoor seating? Is it on the sidewalk?
So I worked with Jim Gillen a long time. That we used to always have chairs outside. That's like a double double sidewalk. It's because the building sits in,
Right.
you know?
I do. I'm just, that's where you intend to have the outdoor seating is on
Yeah.
the sidewalk. Clearly, that's a very wide side, right?
Yes.
I didn't know if it was somewhere behind, like going up
No.
towards the library or whatever.
No.
So it's on that wide sidewalk and it won't interfere with folks.
No.
Okay,
No, we
That's-
used to do it.
that's all I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions for Mr. Montero? Okay, you can stay right there if you would, sir. Is there anybody here tonight to speak at this public hearing about this application? I see none. Dante? And nobody online. In that case, I will declare the public hearing closed and entertain a motion. Counselor?
Mr. President, do I take a motion for both or just for the first?
Just 6 for now.
Okay. I make a motion to approve the Class B virtual new with outdoor seating, a cruise events and art gallery, a cruise events and art gallery LLC, 249 Main Street, LIC, LQB 26-4.
That's good. It's been moved by Counselor Codere, second by Counselor Gregor, that a Class B victual approval be given to a Class B victualler new with outdoor seating to a cruise events and art gallery, a cruise events and art gallery LLC, 249 Main Street, license number LQB-26-4. The motion is for approval. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Might as well stay right there, Mr. Montero, while we do number 7.
All right, item number 7, petition for license, Victor House, first class new, a cruise events and art gallery, a cruise events and art gallery LLC, 249 Main Street, license number LQB-26-4. Motion to approve.
Moved by Council Russo, second by Council Codere, that approval be given to a Victualling House First Class New application of a cruise events and art gallery, a cruise events and art gallery LLC, 249 Main Street, license number LQB-26-4. The motion is for approval. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. You're all set, sir. Good luck.
Thank you.
Mr. President, before I take item number 8, I'd like to amend the agenda for a purpose of introducing a communication.
It's been moved by Councilor Arujo, second by Council Moran, that we amend the agenda for the purpose of introducing a correspondence. Is there any discussion about amending the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I make a motion to file communication from on behalf of the club Fiduciu de Jabra. Sorry, I'm hoping I'm mispronouncing. Fidi de Jabra.
Say that 3 times fast.
Fid
Dijarara.
Iju Jabra.
All right.
Jababa.
Fid- I like to file that communication.
For the club. I'm sorry, Mike. Can you just hand that down so I know?
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to repeat it, so. I'll let Mr. Councilor Gregor, please.
Okay.
He's got this down.
Been moved by Councilor Arujo, seconded by Council Moran, that we introduce a file communication regarding Club Fijos de Derbaba. Was I close? All right, close. We all know what we're talking about. So, all in favor of filing that communication?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
All right. Item number 8 is advertised for a public hearing. Class B victular transfer from. Go ahead, Council Gregor. Can you say the name?
Biju.
Fiju di Jabrab.
Thank you. Transfer from them to with outdoor seating. Zona 7 BMT 7 LLC, 682 Roosevelt Avenue, license number LQB 26-3, Entertainment Amusement 2, previously 605 Broadway. My motion is to convene this public hearing.
Moved by Council, moved by Councilor Ruja, second by Council Moran, that we convene a public hearing for a Class B victular transfer from Fijus de Baba. Close, right? With outdoor seating. You know, after 14 years, you'd think I'd get this one right, but Zona 7, BMT 7, LLC, 682 Roosevelt Avenue, license number LQB-26-3, with amusement, 2 amusements, previously 605 Broadway. The public, moving to open the public hearing. Let the public hearing open. Sir, how are you?
I'm good, yourself?
Good, thank you. If you could give your name and home address, please.
Bruno Texera, 204 Nate Whipple Highway, Cumberland, 02864.
Bruno Texera, 204 Nate Whipple Highway, Cumberland, Rhode Island.
Mr. Texera, how are you?
I'm doing excellent, yourself?
I'm doing fine, thank you. When my tongue gets out of the way.
Mine too. My apologies. I wish I pronounced it correctly.
That's all right, no worries.
This is in Councilor Moran's district, so I'm going to turn that over to him.
Thank you, Mr. President. Bruno, I know we spoke a little over a week ago. Why don't you explain to the council what you want to do and where you're located now, and then I know you want to move it over, I guess.
Yeah, I'm located at 605 Broadway. I have a sports bar, Zone 7. I've been there for about, 10 months now. And basically, whatever it's been happening at Fiji Drive, it will continue to be kind of the same thing, because they've been usually do things for community and do like events, parties, and I just want to have outdoor seating, being able to provide something different for people so they can sit by the water kind of.
So it would be a sports bar, basically?
Yeah, then I can have like kind of, because it's 2 levels. So one will be like basically what I have now, and I will be renting the whole upstairs.
So what is the capacity? Do you know what the capacity is of the building itself?
I would say more than 150 people, close to it.
Okay. And so would you have like, I know you mentioned entertainment there too. So what
Yes.
kind of entertainment were you looking for to do?
It's like what they've been having there. They usually have a live band there, but I'll do the soundproof in the building itself.
Now, would you have events or would you rent the space out to people as well?
Well, it's usually if they have, like, they say they have a Sweet 16, they might have band or DJ. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Whenever I went for a party, it might be different.
Right. And how many people would be working there besides yourself?
I have my son, my wife, and my sister. That's whomever is working at the Zone 7 now will transfer that location with me.
And I assume everybody would be of age, would be tip certified too, right?
Correct.
Okay. And do you think there'd be any need for a bounce or anything? Do you think you'd have any type of a huge event or something like that where you would need a bounce or anything?
If I get to that point, I will make sure I have what it's need to keep the public safe.
And I mean, I saw there's a menu there. I saw the menu and everything on your application.
Correct. I keep at minimum. I don't get much into a restaurant.
Okay, say that again. I'm sorry.
I say I keep at minimum, so we do the basic.
Right, right. But I mean, there's a kitchen there and everything. too,
Correct.
Right.
There
Okay.
is.
Do I even get into this letter that was introduced? Or?
Let's see if there's anybody
All
else
right.
here.
Yeah. See if
First,
anybody.
does anybody have any questions at this moment for Mr. Texera? Okay, if you just hang on just one second, Mr. Texera. Is there anybody here tonight to speak at this public hearing about this license proposal? And anybody online?
If you are waiting online to speak in this public hearing, can you please press the raise hand button at this time?
Okay, in this case, we probably don't want to close the public hearing. So would that be your motion is to continue the public hearing or?
Continue because of what we received?
Yeah, that. You
Well, the,
asked-
well, the only thing is about what we received. It's not even signed by anybody. I have no idea who it is. It just says the people that worked. I mean, that doesn't really mean a lot to me.
Is the applicant aware of the?
That's what I was gonna ask him. But I figured we could.
Mr. You gave him a letter, a copy
Yeah,
of the
he
letter?
just gave me a letter.
Okay, so there's a suggestion in something that we received, a correspondence we received, that the person who is selling to you,
It's there. It is. We're closing the property. I've been kind of doing some work in the building, painting and stuff like that.
Did you purchase the property? From
Yes,
Fito?
I'm already in the property is already under my name. So I've been painting the building. I already spent $8,000 just removing trash because, it's been as you guys drive by there, you can see it's been a junkyard basically. Spent
Right.
almost
So,
$8,000.
but I was gonna say the letter that you probably just read, and I only just saw it recently
Yeah.
myself. That is, I'm just saying, and again, I'm not putting anything against you. I'm just saying.
It's fine.
Yeah, the letter, it's, I don't even know what it's trying to
I-
claim, but that almost seems like that's between the members of Fijos and then Mr. Galveo as
Well,
opposed to you.
when I purchased the
Right.
property, they had
Yeah.
it was 5 members on the list, and whomever needs to sign, and he was the president, so everything was done legally, and they were aware of what's going on. So
have you closed already?
yes,
Okay.
I closed on the 27th of February. I've been owning the property for over a month.
Seems like they even have a sign there
Okay.
on Google, yeah.
Yeah,
Councilor Gregor.
Yeah, just in light of the letter, I'm clear here. You purchased the property from the members of the Fiji de Jabraba?
correct.
The president of Fiji
Yes,
de Jabraba?
yes.
Okay.
It was to him and 4 other members on the closing documents. Yeah, who owned the building basically.
And they're entitled to the property. They were.
Yeah, they all signed they knew what was happening. They signed the paper.
No, I meant they were entitled. People sold it to you were entitled to that property at the time they transferred it to you, correct?
Yeah, he might not be, but they wouldn't be able to close if not. That's
Yes,
why I asked.
correct.
if
That's
if
what I'm
he's
saying.
closed. So
Everything was done legally, and if there was any objection, for example, we wouldn't get that far. Basically, whoever's sending the letter out now, honestly, there's nothing that can be done. You know what I mean? So it was legally done, and he got his money. So
I mean, that's what I'm saying. When I see this,
Yeah.
it's like between whoever these people are on the letter and then him. I mean,
yeah,
it's an
that's
issue.
what I'm saying. Like whatever it's
think it's-
did, and they can, it was,
did everything legally.
it was done. I did everything legally, and he got his
if you
money.
close and it's transferred to you, then I don't think it's a matter for us relative to license.
Correct.
Right, I would agree.
Are you good with that?
No, I just want to find out, are you gonna keep this as a membership, like nonprofit or, okay?
No.
So,
I bought on my LLC.
okay.
Yeah.
All
So
right, thank you.
it's a class B. At one time, a long time ago, I understand it was a class D,
Right.
which is a membership and social club and things of that nature. But this is a full-on class B. And it would be, if approved, it would be issued to BMT 7 LLC, correct?
Correct.
Gotcha. So there is nobody else here. I can close the public hearing if you wish.
That's fine.
All right, I will close the public hearing and entertain a motion.
President, I am going to make a motion to approve the Class B vitula transfer from Fijos de Jaraba, Braba, I should say, with outdoor seating, to Zona 7 BMT 7 LLC 682 Roosevelt Avenue, license number LQB-26-3 with entertainment, amusement -2, previously 605 Broadway. Motion to approve.
Been moved by Council Moran, seconded by Councilor Codier, that approval be given to the Class B victular transfer to Zona 7, BMT 7 LLC, 682 Roosevelt Avenue, license number LQB-26-3 with entertainment and 2 amusements. This is previously 605 Broadway. Any discussion on the motion to approve? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. You're all set, sir. Good luck.
Item number 9 is a petition for licensed victular house first class transfer
luck.
from Pitos de Jababla
This is yours too, but
with outdoor seating.
you're good. You're good.
Zona 7, BMT 7 LLC, 682 Roosevelt Avenue, license number LQB 26-3, entertainment, previously 605 Broadway. Motion to approve.
Moved by
Second.
Counselor Ruzo, second by Counselor Moran, that approval be given to a petition for license for victualling house first class transfer from Fijos.
Last chance.
Fijos di Giravava. With outdoor seating. Zona 7, BMT 7 LLC, 682 Roosevelt Avenue, license number LQB-26-3, with entertainment. This is previously 605 Broadway. The motion is for approval. Any discussion? I'll just say I'm happy it's now BMT LLC, BMT 7 LLC, after all these years. Did you have something you want to say?
No, I didn't. No.
Okay, in that case, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Item number 10 is a petition for license, entertainment in Class 1, F1 full privilege. Petition of the Church of the Assumption of the Virgin Mary Greek Orthodox Church to conduct an annual Greek festival and to sell alcoholic beverages at 97 Walcott Street on Friday, August 21st, 2026, from 5 p.m. until 10 p.m. and Saturday, August 22nd, 2026, from 12 p.m. until 10 p.m. and Sunday, August 23rd, 2026, from 12 p.m. until 9 p.m. License number EVT-26-7. Motion to approve.
Second.
Been moved by Counselor Ruzo, seconded by Counselor Codier, that approval be given to an entertainment in Class F1 full privilege petition of the Church of the Assumption of the Virgin Mary Greek Orthodox Church to conduct an annual Greek festival and to sell alcoholic beverages at 97 Walcott Street on Friday, August 27th from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., Saturday, August 22nd from noon until 10 p.m., and Sunday, August 23rd from noon until 9 p.m. Will be license number EVT-26-7. The motion is for approval. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 11 is a communication from Nico Kapatas, Tony's Pizza Palace, Nick Incorporated, 435 Power Road, to Pawtucket Board of License Commissioners requesting name change from Tony's Pizza Palace to OPA Pizza Palace. Motion is to file and take up the communication. Do you need to?
Do you want to just approve it, or are you?
All right,
So
so
the motion by Counselor Ruza, second by Counselor Stokovic, that is a communication from Nico Kapatas from Tony's Pizza Palace, Nick Inc., 435 Power Road, to Pawtucket Board of License Commissioners requesting a name change from Tony's Pizza Palace to Opa Pizza Palace. The motion is to file and approve the request for the name change. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
item number 12, a formal hearing was postponed at the meeting held March 11, 2026, and is again taken up. Class B Victular, Nubai Restaurant and Bar, 434 Broadway, 434 Broadway LIC, LQB, 24-42. Motion is to reconvene the formal hearing.
Second.
Been moved by Counselor Arujo, second by Counselor Moran, that we, a formal hearing that was postponed at the meeting held March 11th and is now taken up. It's a Class B Victular. It's a formal hearing regarding Nubai Restaurant and Bar, 434 Broadway, Inc., 434 Broadway, license number LQB-24-42. I declare the formal hearing open. Solicitor Milos, how are you?
Very good, thank you. Council President Mercer, members of the board. This matter was scheduled for a formal hearing regarding a summons issued to 434 Broadway, Inc. for an incident that occurred on or about January 4th. After reviewing the police report, video evidence, and witness statements with counsel for the license holder, and various conversations that I've had over the last week or so with Councilor Moran, in whose district the licensed premises is located, I believe that we've reached an agreement in lieu of an evidentiary hearing tonight. It's my understanding that Mr. Vieira is prepared to admit to the violation cited under Rhode Island General Laws 3-5-23, specifically that the license holder endangered the health, safety, and welfare of the general public. This stems from the actions taken after a patron fell in the Nubai parking lot. Video evidence that I've seen and I've shared with counsel and Councilor Moran shows a patron leaving the premises with difficulty walking, falling at least once, likely twice in the parking lot. Staff and security assisted him, but instead of leaving him in place and waiting for rescue personnel to arrive to assess and treat him on scene, It appears that Mr. Vieira and others placed the patron in the rear seat of his own pickup truck, drove it a short distance across Laurel Street to the adjacent Warren Tire parking lot. Pawtucket Fire and Rescue arrived almost immediately thereafter, who then had to remove the patron from the back seat of the truck for transport by rescue to Rhode Island Hospital. The movement ultimately appeared to make rescue efforts more difficult than if the patron had remained in the original location where he fell. The police investigation found no evidence of any assault, struggle, third-party involvement, disorderly conduct that disturbed the neighborhood. And that's really what got the police involved at first, because my understanding is that a relative, I believe the niece of the patron, got in touch with the police because she was under the impression that perhaps the patron had been assaulted in some fashion by perhaps patrons or others who were at the licensed premises, but that proved not to be the case. Actually, the investigation was closed as non-criminal with no probable cause to effectuate any arrests. I'll let the clerk correct me. I don't believe there have been any prior calls for service at this location. I think this is the first violation. And they've been in business for at least 2.5 years, if not more, at this point. So in resolution of this matter, Mr. Vieira is prepared to accept a $500 fine with no license suspension. The fine would be paid within 30 days. This disposition addresses the public safety concern while recognizing that there were no broader operational violations, and it's certainly consistent with the board's authority under the statute for a first offense. It allows the business to continue operating, which it has since this incident occurred, hopefully in a more responsible manner, though, going forward. So we respectfully request that the board consider the plea and disposition and impose the $500 fine. And Mr. Vieira and Attorney Horan are available, obviously, for any questions that the board might have before you formally consider the disposition that's been offered tonight.
Okay, thank you. This is Councilor Moran's district. I will turn that over to you. I'm sure we may have a few other questions.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. Council Horn, I don't know if you wanted to bring the client up there, just to,
Absolutely.
if they wanted to say anything or any type of comments or anything.
Just before my client speaks, Attorney Monica Horan, 393 Armistice Boulevard, Pawtucket.
Should know that by heart, huh?
We've met several times with my client. Some of the video that was provided by my client. He's been fully cooperative with the police, with the city. Once they discovered this patron in the parking lot, he is the one, or his staff is the one that called 911 and went to him. This was not a situation that was taken lightly. I will tell you, he did what he thought was appropriate in the moment. Upon reviewing of the tapes after in my office, things could have been handled better, but there was never any intent to place anyone in any kind of harm. Their intent was to care for this patron. And based on what we saw on the video, my client would like to get this behind him and continue to operate the business as he has done for the past 3 years. There hasn't been any issues prior to this. He has security on site. He has security cameras, again, that he shared with the police. So as a business owner for the past 3 years, he really has been responsible, and this was a lapse. So based on our conversations, including with Attorney Milos, he is willing to accept and admit to this, but this was not taken lightly. We had many discussions about that. He's here this evening to discuss this, but I just wanted to explain what the circumstances were that evening. This was just not a patron left out there. He and his security team, it's clear from the video, once they realized this patron had fallen, went right after him, contacted 911. So there was no malice or callousness on behalf of my clients.
Can I ask a quick question? The 911 call to have emergency personnel arrive. Where were they told to find the individual? At Warren Tire?
No.
my place. We called.
You called?
Yes.
But where did
One
you
of the staff called.
Before you speak, I need to swear you in.
Name and address.
Before you, would you raise your right hand? You
Sure.
solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and your name and address, please.
Arvito Vieira, 12 Walnut Street, Pawtucket, Rhode Island.
And Dorito Vieira, 12 Walnut Street, Pawtucket, Rhode Island.
Yes, sir.
But I guess my question is, when 911 was called,
Right.
where were they told to arrive?
At my place.
Even though he had been driven across the street?
He wasn't driving. No, he was still in my place. The car was, he was not parking a regular parking spot. He was facing the Broadway tire underneath my sign, and there was just an entrance. So he was parked, there was cars here, there was cars on the other side. After we put him in the car, we called 911. When the trucks was at the light coming towards us, I decided to move him across where there's more space, because where he was, couldn't even open the door. So I would pull up, I stopped, they came, they come up, I drove around, back on my lot, parked the car, parked the keys, gave it to the restaurant.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to turn it over now to Counselor.
So you did that basically for better access for
Correct,
the
yes,
emergency
they
person?
couldn't get to him.
Okay. So it wasn't just to
I
kind
mean,
of
they
try
could, but
to,
it'll be a little harder to open the door.
okay, all right. Because yeah, go ahead.
The video shows simultaneously, he pulls into Warren Tire as the ambulance is coming around. So the video does show that it's directly before the ambulance gets there.
Okay. All right.
Right, so
All
they
right.
did the investigation. I gave them all the videos, because I had nothing to hide. I helped the family, went to the family's house, showed them the video. Never said he never felt my place. So I don't agree with the conclusion that the police department not end up with that.
Well, I would just say it's a unique situation for this board. We've never seen anything like this before. At least I haven't. I know Frank, you haven't either, but it's a unique situation. And again, I understand the explanation. I mean, it somewhat seems to make sense, but sometimes perception means more than what reality is. But you just want to make sure in the future, hopefully it never happens again. You don't want to move anybody, certainly if there's an issue, because you're endangering their public safety as well as
Right.
other people too as well. So I do appreciate the explanation. Again, if this were to happen again, which I don't think it ever will, it would be a lot worse than just a fine. We'd be talking suspension and everything else. So you just want to make sure you handle those situations correctly if something happens outside
Right.
the establishment in the parking lot, and
And
just
I
don't
would just
repeat
like
that
to
again.
add, if anything, I saved this guy's life. Because if you gone home, something might have happened to him. Because he had internal bleeding. And I did the right thing, called the ambulance, sent him to the hospital.
Well, like I said, just next time around, if there is, hopefully there isn't, just make sure, at least keep the person in place and, call 911 like you did and just leave them in that one spot. You don't want to move anybody like that and let the specialist do that, the emergency personnel. But I appreciate you certainly coming up and doing what you needed to do at that point in time. But I think the fine is something that needs to be done, and I think that's what needs to be levied, and that's what I'm going to recommend to the board. So, but thank you.
Counselor Gregor.
I just had a question. Did you and all your staff stay with the individual the entire time?
Correct. Yes.
So you never just left him in the
No,
truck?
no. We stayed with him the entire time.
Anybody else? So I'll just say, I feel a little bit better with your explanation. I just don't know how a business owner moves somebody in advance of emergency support. You always hear, don't move somebody, especially somebody who might have a head injury. I'm still trying to square that with the decision to lift him and put him in the back of a truck. I get I wasn't there. I'm just saying, I don't know any event where I would have lifted somebody with a potential head injury and stuffed him in the back of his car. Even if I was trying to get him, I would have blocked traffic. I would have done anything but pick up somebody with a potential bleeding on the brain. So that was my thought on it when I first heard it. I appreciate your explanation. I am certainly willing to go with the district counselor, but again, it's probably never ever going to happen again. But if it happens someplace else, you're on vacation. I think the worst move would be to lift somebody up and stuff on the back of a car.
Well, I think Council Horan said it earlier too. Basically, it was a lapse in judgment. So I think maybe the intent was, meant well intent, but just looking back in hindsight, right, 2020, that's a lapse in judgment. You don't want to do that again. So.
And we discussed that, and I do not think that he will be back before this council with anything remotely resembling this, so.
Well, we haven't seen him in the first 3 years, so I think we're all in agreement with that's the case. And
3 years, sir. We used to be there before.
Huh?
We used to be at his location in the past, and it wasn't your location.
Right.
So I commend him for having the record of 3 years without having it.
Yeah.
Because
Yes, I
know
did say
the
3 years, didn't I?
Yeah, Mark traded it to me in the redistricting.
Pretty much.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anybody else has any questions? No. In that case, did you make a motion to approve the?
Yes, I'll officially make the motion now. Make the motion to approve the fine of $500 to be levied against the establishment and to be paid within 30 days.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilor Moran, second by Councilor Moreno, that we accept the plea and the settlement with a fine of $500 to be paid within 30 days. 30 days, that was it? Correct. Okay. Any discussion on that motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Good luck, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
No further business coming before the Pawtucket Board of License Commissioners. I make a motion that we adjourn and reconvene as the Pawtucket City Council.
Been moved by Councilor Rougeau, seconded by Councilor Codier, that we adjourn as the Pawtucket Board of License Commissioners and convene as the Pawtucket City Council. Before we do, I ask everybody stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, started by Councilor Rubio. All right, the Pawtucket City Council will come to order. Clerk will call the roll.
President Mercer,
Here.
Council Rougeau,
Here.
Council Codere,
Here.
Council Gregor, Council Moran.
Here.
Council Moreno, Council Rubio,
Here.
Council Skobiak, Council Wildenhain. Here. 9 in attendance.
As advertised for public hearing regarding an ordinance and amendment of Chapter 410 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pawtucket, 1996, entitled Zoning, Amendment to Zoning Map from Residential Single Family RS to Commercial General CG Zoning District, 10 Newport Avenue, AP 40, L 1015. My motion is to convene this public hearing.
Moved by Councilor Rougeau, second by Councilor Wildenhain, that we convene a public hearing regarding an ordinance and amendment of Chapter 410 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pawtucket, 1996, entitled Zoning. It's an amendment to the zoning map from Residential Single Family RS to Commercial General CG Zoning District. It's for 10 Newport Avenue, Assessors Plat 40, Lot 1015. The motion is to convene a public hearing. I declare the public hearing open. And Attorney Horan, you're with us again, and your client, Mr. Vitale. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening again, Monica Horan, 393 Armistice Boulevard in
What was that
Pawtucket.
again?
I was gonna pass out my card. Good evening again, members of the city council. Mr. Vitale's here with me regarding this proposed zoning amendment. This property is owned by Aleppo LLC. It's at 10 Newport Avenue in Pawtucket. You may know it as the old Simpsons Pharmacy. This is Simpsons Pharmacy for many decades prior to this. The current zone is a residential single family. This building has never been a residential property. It's always been a commercial property. And as you also know, around the surrounding area on Newport Avenue is quite heavily commercial. So we are just requesting that this parcel be rezoned from a residential single family to a commercial general, which is in conformance with the property itself, and I would submit in conformance with the surrounding area and also in conformance with the comprehensive plan. So we're happy to answer any questions. I know that when we were in front of the ordinance committee, there was talk of an amendment to this ordinance, and one has been submitted to Councilor Moran, which we were in full agreement with. But happy to answer any questions.
Does anybody have any questions regarding this zone change? I'll just say this is in my district. It has never been a residential building or a residential lot. It's been a commercial retail store since at least the mid sixties, right? Early sixties?
Late fifties, actually.
Late fifties. We spoke in committee about this, and there were some concerns that were articulated to me and to the owner, Mr. Vitale, about concerns of the back. Again, it's always been a pharmacy. The back has always been closed off to traffic, and the concerns were that it may, if it moves to commercial general, the back might be opened and there'd be cars going in and out onto Williston Way and Gloria Street. Mr. Vitale has assured us that that's not going to be the case. And rather than waiting for a license application for that property, that he'd be willing to agree to a stipulation in this zoning change that it be blocked off at the back. There's some other language there, blocked off at the back, so that it can't be used for egress with the exception of emergency vehicles in an emergency situation. So it'll be fenced off or blocked off with a gate that can be used in an emergency situation. Is that pretty much accurate, Counselor?
There is already a gate there that Mr. Vitale put up with a way to get in and out, but that's locked. In addition, Mr. Vitale pointed out the Simpson Pharmacy owners had put stanchions or metal poles on the side of both sides of the building so that no car could go from the front to the back anyway. So if anyone was going to come into the back, it would be strictly through a locked gate. And Mr. Vitale, after speaking with the neighbors, he did go around to the neighborhood and spoke with 5 or 6 of the neighbors, heard their concerns. And he is willing to have an amendment to this ordinance, essentially saying no commercial pickups or deliveries will occur in the back lot. And that gate will remain closed except for emergency vehicles. So if there's fire, rescue, police, someone that needs to access that on an emergency basis, obviously they would have access. But if there's any deliveries, it would come from the front. So it would not disturb the neighbors. And in the ordinance committee, Mr. Vitale pointed out that when they first got the property, landscape trucks not affiliated with his business were parking in the back lot and leaving early in the morning, disturbing the neighbors. So once he put up that fence, that eliminated that problem. So he definitely wants to preserve the neighborhood, protect the neighbors. And so that's why we had offered that amendment during the ordinance committee hearing.
And you did say a stockade fence, a solid fence, right?
Well, right now there's a chain link.
Right.
Yes.
But once it's going to be utilized, once you have a tenant, I think the agreement is that would be a
screen.
solid fence to,
Screen the neighborhood.
yes,
off. That's correct.
exactly. Anybody else have any questions? As I said, I did speak with the folks who raised some concerns with me. Nobody showed up tonight at the ordinance committee. Nobody has shown up as far as I know. Is there anybody online? Is there anybody here? Okay. All right, let's just hang on for just 1 second, okay? It is a public hearing. I'll give everybody a chance to speak, but, so it looks like we have at least one, if not 2 people. So if you folks would have a seat,
Okay.
we'll continue the public hearing. If you feel like you'd like to come over, if you've already said your piece.
Just because it wasn't, what I mean, formalized. This was the first I was hearing of it, but,
This.
oh, Danielle Banning, 210 Benefit Street, Pawtucket, Rhode Island, 02861.
Danielle.
Yes.
And last B-A.
Banning. Banning.
And your address again, please?
210 Benefit Street.
Okay,
Benefit.
thank you.
Yes.
That one
Thank
I
goodness
know.
we have that clarified. So my mother lives on Gloria. I literally just moved her there this October. So, and with that being, with her being closer, which is lovely, she's also watching my kids from time to time and they're spending time over there. Gloria is glorious because of how it's that perfect little U shape.
Yep.
And it's closed off to all commercial stuff. I love it that my like little boy can be out there. Like I said, he has like a Power Wheels tractor with the back thing. His baby sister rides in the back too. I just want to make sure that we do make sure that that area is protected and preserved because they're so grateful for how quiet it is and protected back there that even though it is so commercial in the front and it is wonderful because they have ease of access to everything, but they also have that really beautiful silence back in there in Gloria, and it is such a nice place that I know my kids are safe on those areas. So as long as things are truly going to make sure that there is no concern of traffic changing in that area or like safety concerns arising.
You can rest assured.
Okay, so that is all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, did you raise your hand? If you could give your name and home address, please.
My name's Thomas White. I live at 421 Wilson Way, Pawtucket.
Thomas Hoyt?
White,
White.
same as the color. First, I'd like to say I love what you've done with the place. I don't know what you're shooting for, but it's level. I'd like to correct what was said. There was a piece of there was a house on that lot back in 1957. Was moved to 67 Gloria Street. And since this pharmacy was built, because my family's lived there since 1950.
Are you on the corner of?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Beverage Hill,
You-
right?
You're acquainted with my
Yep.
brother, Tim.
Yes.
And I did speak with Mr. Vitale, and I didn't know that he was going to get a stipulation put in. I thought that was going to be wide open. And basically, that is the neighbor's complaint because that was a thoroughfare for many decades to avoid the traffic light Beverage Hill Avenue. Also, when he put the poles in, the delivery door is in the rear of the building. I don't know how they're going to get any deliveries with the fence there, but they're going to have to remove the poles. But
Well,
what
he-
happened
he-
then
he
was
suggested that whatever the new use is, that the deliveries will enter and exit from Newport Avenue, correct? So
yeah, and that's a major concern. Other than it is very close to abutting properties. It's fine for pharmacy or professional building, but a restaurant or something else would not do too well there. I think there'd be a lot of complaints. But they would have to apply for license for that, correct?
yes,
Okay, and then we would have another public hearing.
yes. I mean, it would be zone commercial general, so there'd be, certain things that can be allowed there. But yeah, it would still need whatever's going to go there in all likelihood. A law office doesn't need a license, but
Right.
for the most part, anything that's going to be retail of some sort would need a
Well,
license.
the Simpsons were good neighbors for numbers of years. I've known Mr. Vitale for a number of years, so that was our major concern, and that's probably why nobody showed up today. So, thank you for your time.
Was
Appreciate
was
it.
that your major concern? You just said knowing Mr. Vitale? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't.
We're in Boy Scouts together.
I know it's been a while, but my condolences on your brother. He was a wonderful guy.
Yeah, how he is in the Hall of Fame, I'll never know.
Yeah. Keep trying. Okay, is there anybody else here? And nobody online, I assume? Okay, in that case, I am going to close the public hearing, and this, as you know, is later on in our agenda. We can't move it up because of open meetings issues, so just hold tight, please.
Okay. I'd like to call for approval of item number 1, the previous minutes of March 3rd, 2026 of the City Property Committee, the Ordinance Committee, the Finance Committee, and the City Council, and also March 11th, 2026 of the City Property Committee, Committee on Claims and Pending Suits, and the City Council.
Been moved by Council Russo, seconded by Council Wildenhain, that approval be given to the minutes of the March 3rd meetings of the City Property Committee, the Ordinance Committee, the Finance Committee, and the City Council, as well as the March 11th meeting of the City Property Committee, Committee on Claims and Pending Suits, and the City Council. Are there any concerns, amendments, deletions, additions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I'd like to call for approval of item number 2, which is the consent agenda and correspondence.
Been moved by Councilor Ruzo, second by Councilor Moreno, that approval be given to item 2, the consent agenda and correspondence. Are there any items the members would like to address separately? Councilor Gregor, are you sure? In that case, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Mr. President, number 3, the following ordinance, which was returned by the ordinance committee with a recommendation for approval, was postponed at the meeting held March 11th, 2026, and is again taken up. An ordinance and amendment of Chapter 210 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pawtucket, 1996, entitled Fire Prevention Code, Outdoor Burning and Cooking for first passage. Motion is to approve on a roll call vote. I guess it's here for that for first passage, but I know we may have some concerns from Councilor Gregor, and also I know the chief is here, Chief Treniso is here.
Okay,
too.
so let's get it on the floor
Yeah.
then. So the following ordinance, which was returned by the ordinance committee with a recommendation for approval, is postponed at the meeting held March 11, 2026. Is again taken up. It's an ordinance and amendment of Chapter 210 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pawtucket, 1996, entitled Fire Prevention Code, specifically outdoor burning and cooking. It's been moved by Councilor Moran, seconded by Councilor Codere and Councilor Gregor, that we take this item up. It would be for first passage on a roll call vote, but we have at least a fire chief here. Do you want to, as the ordinance chair, how do you want to handle this?
Well, why don't we bring the fire chief up? And if,
Just 1 second.
yeah.
You're going to ask about introducing your, okay,
Yes.
so.
Why don't we do that then first? I'm sorry. You want to
Yes,
do that first?
yeah, we
Sorry,
probably
go
should do it that way.
Sorry, Chief. You can still hang
Do
there.
you have a hard copy? Do you have a hard copy?
I only have one.
No, the amendments.
He
Okay,
sent it to
I-
everybody. Well, I can give it
Let-
to you. I'm
let's-
just gonna
let's-
need it.
Let's do this. You make a motion to amend the agenda for the purpose of introducing a correspondence. We'll do that first.
Okay. So, if I may, I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda in order to introduce a correspondence, which
Let's just stop there.
Stop right
Just a correspondence. So, the move by Councilor Gregor, second by Councilor Moreno, that we amend the agenda for the purpose of introducing a correspondence. All in favor of amending the agenda?
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Okay, now the correspondence itself. You want to introduce a correspondence?
Yeah, so the correspondence was submitted via email to David Moran, the City Councilor Ordinance Committee Chair, as well as Pawtucket Fire Chief John Trentso, City Solicitor Frank Mallows, and of course, Council President Terry Mercer. And this is in regards to the proposed amendment. It's a 3-page letter. I just have one copy here, so I can see if I can get it back. So.
You can just hang on to it. You've already sent it to the clerk. The issue is we can't really entertain it. We can file it, but you wrote it, you submitted it. In your discussion on this matter, you can certainly reference your thoughts, but we just can't reference the letter itself. So, in that case, all in favor of introducing, filing a communication from Councilor Gregor, addressed to the entirety of the council, be filed. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Okay, so now let's go to the chief. You handle it as you see fit, and council, you weigh in when it's appropriate.
Yeah. Chief, I just want to go over again, I know you already did it during the ordinance committee, back a while back, was just what kind of work you had done on this, how long you'd worked on it, and then what was, again, the purpose of what you wanted to do and the final result, I guess.
So we've been working on it for about a year and a half, trying to put everything together, try to make everybody happy, basically, allow outdoor burning and cooking, but also give us the ability to deal with somebody that's not following the rules or the ordinance. I felt we have a pretty good document here that allows us pretty much, everybody can burn. There's no real restrictions for the most part, other than distances. As long as you don't cause a problem, we don't know about it, and everybody's happy. So it's really for the people that every year we have a handful of people that are problems, and we never had an enforcement mechanism in the past. So now we do. That was really the big thing out of it, was keeping the city safe, giving us a tool to deal with people that have problems. And other than that, everybody else can enjoy their outdoor, fires.
The people that were problems, that you would consider problems, say repeat offenders or whatnot, would you think they would initially maybe get warnings and stuff, or would they be enforced immediately? What do you think?
It all depends. Most of the time, we'd go out there, we'd give them, hey, listen, you can't do this. It's too big. It's too close, whatever. Almost every time they'd be fine. They wouldn't do it again. Every once in a while, you'd have a couple people that just were persistent. I think every year we probably had 2 or 3 people that would just fight us on everything. And we didn't really have a tool to go after them. So now we have a tool to shut them down permanently. We can issue fines if they don't comply. Honestly, my whole time on the job, I've been here like 33 years. We don't really have anybody that's a big problem. Usually they listen after the first or the second time, and then it goes away. So it's not a huge problem in Pawtucket.
Council Gregor.
Yeah, Chief, good evening, and sorry for you having to come out here. So yes, this ordinance was initially approved by the ordinance council a couple of weeks back. However, I'd received per the letter here, which I'm assuming you've received. It outlines certain concerns I received from some constituents, and after I did some review regarding the same type of fire prevention code for outdoor burning and cooking, looking at the various municipalities, both neighboring and others in the state, who have similar kind of ordinances. And I said what you're trying to do here, and I do appreciate the fact that you were trying to do it. However, some of the concerns, and one of the most pertinent here, is in regards to distance relative to where a fire pit can be in a yard, and the proximity to a structure or somebody's home.
Yeah.
50 feet is what it sets here. However, that is not a distance set by any other municipalities, and neither does the Rhode Island Uniform Fire Safety Code, Rhode Island General Law, Section 23-28, .1-1 in sequence, as well as the NEFPA, which is the National Fire Protection Association Comprehensive Fire Safety and Prevention Codes and Standards, which are implemented through the state's fire codes, which I'm going to assume is what the city as a municipality would have to adhere to as well. So when you look at that 50, and I'm referencing here in particular, if I could just find the letter here. So the proposed amendment here for this ordinance, section 210-10, which and subsection D1 is precisely the one that I'm referencing regarding to location distance allowed between an open recreational fire and structures of combustible material set at 50 feet. Okay, so the issue with that, and again, so that standard is not set up by NEFPA nor the Fire Safety Code of the state of Rhode Island. So it's used, according to NEFPA, for fires that require a permit, and that would be for fires being maintained on public property to 50 feet distance. When you try to apply it, and actually, again, so NEFTA nor the state around fire code would prescribe a 50-foot distance from the fire source to somebody's home. And when you look at the concern here, is that when you look at the city of Pawtucket, which is densely populated, 90% at least, or probably 85, 75, 80, anywhere between 75 to 90. If you look at their lot size, there is no way they would be in compliance with the 50 feet from their fire pit to their home. I think it's unfair, it's prejudicial, and favors people who own large homes and have sufficient yard space to be able to maintain it. The whole point of this, I thought, was for people to be able to enjoy a recreational fire in their backyard. So when you have this 50 feet distance discrepancy, now again, not utilized by any other municipalities, not required by the state safety fire code, nor the NEFPA, it's prejudicial. It doesn't serve the purpose intended here, which I thought this ordinance was for, again, provide for basic safety standards for outdoor recreation, at the same time allowing the residents of the city to be able to enjoy a nice fire in their backyard. So that's the issue with the maximum distance between a fire pit in somebody's yard and the structure in all municipalities that I've looked at is the maximum has been 25 less of 25 feet or less, which makes sense. And also, again, the NEFPA regulations and standard, I'm trying to find that here.
So let me ask
Oh,
you.
we get, I think we all get your.
Well, no, I just
your
want to say
point.
the prescribed standards here based on the NEFPA is 25 feet. And that also suggests that this would be applicable where the person is not using a proper fire pit, that's not approved, or it's not being maintained correctly. So it could be less.
So, one of the first questions I have is, which standard did you take the 25-foot from? Because we checked it today, the last two standards from NFPA and Rhode Island State Fire Code is 50 feet.
Well, I'm looking at the, well, Rhode
Previous to
Island
that,
Fire
it
Safety
may
Code.
be an older version that you took it from, but the ones we checked today are the two latest versions, the current versions, and it's 50 feet.
Okay, and is that for recreational fire or is it for permitted fire? Because there is a distinction.
So we don't do permitted fires. I understand. I think I know what you're looking at
Yeah.
when you talk about D1.
Yeah.
That was simply, we knew what we were talking about. I should have changed the word to allowable. We don't do permitted fires in the city. There's no permitted fires at all. The only permitted fires that you would be allowed to have is if you're going to be down at Slater Park and you rent out one of the charcoal grills.
That's capital P permitted, not permitted as an allowable.
Correct.
Okay.
So that's the difference. If we had just changed that word, that takes away your confusion, I believe, on being permitted or not being permitted. The second thing is, I don't know what other communities that you use, but each community has the same as myself, is the AHJ, the Authority Having Jurisdiction, and they make their decisions based on their needs. If you're referring to Burrillville compared to Pawtucket, it's a huge difference. Pawtucket is highly densely populated. The buildings are very close together. If I was to go off that 50-foot standard, I understand that people can't burn, but you could go to the east side, the west side, you go anywhere in the city, and there's going to be an equal number of people that are not going to be allowed to burn based on the 50 feet. My job is to protect the citizens of Pawtucket and the property. That's my only job.
Correct.
That's why I came up with this, because we just had a fire last year. I think it was off Beverage Hill or Columbus. This guy was out in his backyard, had a fire. He took down three sheds and a garage and a picket fence, all from one fire. So that's why we do what we do. He wouldn't be permitted to have it. We had no enforcement mechanism to go against him other than other people's insurance came after him. But he basically could just do whatever he wanted. So that's the reason we put these in place. We've seen it. We had a fire over on Harrison Street, maybe 5-6 years ago. From a simple car fire, it took out 4 huge houses. So I know you're comparing other cities' ordinances, but Pawtucket's unique. The amount of buildings that are so close together and how fast a conflagration can take place, like in the blink of an eye. I mean, we had Greenhall Mills over on Cottage Street, started with them cleaning. They were just removing paint or piping with a torch. That building was gone in not even 20 minutes. So that's my concern. That's my job, is I have to protect everybody. I understand people want to have fires, and I feel bad that they can't have fires. My concern is I have to protect the city and the residents, and that's what this ordinance that I came up with, along with my members of my fire prevention, we spent a year and a half researching with the state fire marshal, researching with other departments, and what we felt was the safest mechanism to allow people to have fires, but to make it as safe as possible. I understand it's an inconvenience not being able to do it within 50 feet or not being able to put something, a charcoal grill on your back porch. But I'm telling you from experience of my whole time here, I've seen house fires from people grilling on their back porch. We had a guy recently, a couple of years ago, that was one of these issues why this all came up, was his neighbor had a fire probably within 5 feet of his overhang from his porch. We went out there and took care of it, but there really had no mechanism to do anything. Now we have a mechanism if we have somebody like that. So none of this is for any other reason other than to protect every citizen and every building in this city from being killed, being destroyed. And that's the whole point of what we did this for.
Chief,
The current ordinance is outdoor burning is prohibited except for cooking. Is that still the current ordinance?
Correct.
right? So I'll, I'll tell you, I had somebody in my district who bought a small, single-story home and was permitted to make it a two-story home, against the better wishes of some of the very close neighbors. And when he took the siding off, it was, however it's treated, pressure treated, that old wooden shingles siding. And he was burning them in a 50-gallon metal drum between his house and the neighbor's house. And fire department went down there and shut him down. And they told him under what ordinance. So the next day, he took down the rest of his shingles, put them in, set them on fire again, put a grate on them, and threw a burger on it. And he put a handmade sign up inviting all the neighbors over for hamburgers. That's what he thought he was gonna get around it. So I get it. There are irresponsible people that were trying to get a hold of. It's just, that's, unfortunately, it's human nature. There are some people, and my thinking about this ordinance is whether it's 25 or 50 or 35, there is going to be somebody who is going to be complaining about his neighbor having a fire, especially if it's a wood burning fire, right? And we go between propane is less obtrusive, but some people want that, right? And somebody is going to be complaining about somebody else. Is it simply a pursuit of a mechanism to stop irresponsible people and not to be the fire Gestapo, the fire pit Gestapo?
Pretty much. I mean, it comes down to, we have a couple, basically there's two options. We can come up with something like this, or we can just eliminate any outdoor burning at all based on state fire code. I don't want to do that. So I can tell you right now, almost in the summertime, almost every single day, there are a ton of people in the city that have fires that nobody knows about. They don't cause problems. Nobody knows about them. Nobody complains. It's just the ones that we have problems with. So people are still out there having their campfires. We just want it to be done safely and give us the mechanism for the troublemakers, to be able to handle it.
If I can respond, Chief, thank you. I do appreciate your concerns and what your job is, and it's a tough job. But I'm not talking here about fires. I understand the complexities of fires, how they can start, and everything else. And the fires you've pointed out are not at all related to what we're discussing here. As unfortunate as those are. So what I'm talking here is about fairness and equity in terms of people, because I thought the whole thing here is about allowing the residents of this city to be able to actually enjoy a contained fire in the proper containment and within safe distances and observing all the rules. This ordinance, as it stands, provides absolutely no provisions regarding what type of wood can be burned. I mean, I looked at most municipalities. They do not allow for anything that's stained with glue, any sort of preservatives or anything like that. These are all issues. It's not addressed here. As far as the distance, this ordinance doesn't talk about the fact that all of these containments are supposed to be no more than, what do I have it here for? Yeah, 3 feet. So any residential fire pits, whether constructed or purchased, have to be made of non-flammable material with a cover and not exceeding 3 feet in diameter by 2 feet in height. These are basic standards that every other municipality uses, which both the FEMA and the state fire safety uses. It's not allowed in here. It would kind of make sense why people are confused. This is because this ordinance is not comprehensive, it's not specific, it leaves a lot of unclarity here. Which is why I added these various other NEPA criterias, which other cities have used, which makes it clear to people, well, your fire pit can't be more than 3 feet diameter, 3 feet high, and all of these things has to be with a cover when it's windy. It addresses all of what kind of stuff you can burn. You're not using plywood and all of these other things. I think these are all basic necessary things that if you're gonna have an ordinance that people can actually understand, follow, use, and be safe about, provide the guidelines for fire safety prevention that you're professing, you need to have these things in there because nobody's clear. There's no enforcement. Okay, that's one thing. The burning hours, all municipalities, including both the NEPA and the state, provide that they should coincide with quiet hours, which makes sense, right? Because nobody's going to have a fire at 2 o'clock in the morning and be quiet or be by himself. That's not going to happen. Fires naturally invites people to come and talk, and we got so to have basic things like these would save both the fire and the police department having to respond to noise and all of these sort of things. None of this stuff is addressed here. And the distance, again, it's if this thing is meant to do something about allowing people in the city to have a contained, approved fire pit in their backyard, that 50 feet distance is wholly unreasonable and not doable. It prejudices most people in the city who don't have the yard size to be able to accommodate 50 feet. They don't. So you're favoring one population over another. The residents who have,
Population am I favoring?
you're favoring people with big yards. Anybody who have big yards be able to accommodate the 50 feet distance
So
would be
is it
fine.
specific in general? Because the whole city has larger, every part of this city, I could go around, I can find yards that have larger than 50-foot
All right,
backyards.
Again,
hang on a second. This is,
I mean,
wait, no, excuse
me. I'm not talking about parts of
excuse
the
me,
city. I'm talking
counselor,
about big
counselor,
yards. Period.
counselor, please,
Yeah.
stop badgering him.
I'm not badgering the
This-
chief. I'm trying to
so
explain what
I-
this is about.
Okay, I'm just,
Okay.
please bear with me for a second.
Yep.
Chairman, was this or was this not vetted in your committee? Right.
At the time, yes.
And who were the members of your committee? So you were there for the vetting of this entire process,
Yeah, I just
right?
want to respond to that. I did ask specifically about the distance issue, and the chief confirmed to me this was what the state does and prescribe, but I'm finding out that that's actually not.
He's
So-
saying differently.
He said it was in accordance with the state fire marshal's regulations. Is that correct?
That's correct.
For
Is that the
outdoor
same as the
permitted
scout?
fires.
Okay. Again, it was vetted and it was passed unanimously, correct? To come to us with a recommendation for approval, right? So where do we stand now as your position as the chair? Do we recommit? Do we put this on the books and then work over some of the issues thereafter?
Assuming there are issues. I mean, he's bringing up some issues now, which is extremely late, to do it. But also the chief, that's why I wanted the chief come up here and explain it. He's worked on it for a year and a half. He seems to feel that it's adequate based on the explanation that he's given, right? I
Correct.
mean, that's what you're saying.
Correct. There's
So-
three things that I follow and I don't go against them. Rhode Island State Fire Code, city ordinances, and state law. So I will never go against any of them. State Fire Code says 50 feet. My thing I'm curious about is what other cities have you gone to that you were referencing in your letter? Which other cities have you checked on their ordinances?
I checked on several.
Well, give me a
both,
couple names if you don't mind.
East Providence, the neighboring cities, even
You got
rural
Providences
cities.
and Providence allows it within less than 50 feet?
Well, I believe so, from what I say, except in certain areas, they take into consideration historical home areas and other things like that. So it's a lot more complicated. Obviously, it's complex, but all their ordinances are very comprehensive, clear, and lets everybody know exactly what you can't do, and where you can and you can't do it, what and not to use. This ordinance doesn't do that.
Well, I beg to differ with you. I don't see how this is unclear to anybody that would read it. It spells out what outdoor cooking is. It tells you the definition of it. It tells you what's allowed. It tells you can't be burning trash. I'm not really sure what I'm missing out of this ordinance that you're looking for.
Well, there are specific things that are, again, excluded, like construction debris, construction material, anything with preservatives and all sorts of things like that. That's just saying trash. It could be anything. It's not
That's
specific.
the whole point. Anything that is not fresh wood or fresh propane or whatever is considered not something you can burn. That's
Okay, but-
considered trash.
I know, but that's not here. It doesn't tell you that. These ordinances actually explain what wood is. It's got to be dry wood that's aged and pellets, period, nothing else.
It says right here, number 2, D2, under open fires. Number 2, permanent barbecues, portable barbecues, outdoor fireplaces, barrels, or grills shall not be used for the disposal of burning of rubbish, trash, or combustible waste material or flammable substances. I'm not really sure.
It's
how
it's
that
not
does-
clear enough. Yeah, just again, it's not, this is not a criticism. I'm just saying there's no rush to pass this ordinance, right? We've not had this sort of thing. I'm just proposing that we look at it, consider it, see whether or not any of these things can be implemented and improve the ordinance. So if when we pass something, we're not coming back, having to readdress things and have other issues occur. So that's all I'm asking for. That's- Yeah. It absolutely was not. The fire chief, with all due respect, was talking about other types of fire. I was trying to focus entirely on what this ordinance was meant to do. Allow people to safely burn a backyard fire in a contained manner. That's all. That's all I was saying. I wasn't talking about general other fires or anything else. Trying to keep it focused. That's all.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions for the chair or for the chief? Okay.
Um,
I'm sorry, Counselor.
Chief, after this discussion, do you feel you have to go back and revise this?
I do not.
Personally, from this discussion.
I do not. Like I said, we've worked on it and I've had plenty of people working on it that know fire code, and I just checked with them once I got the counselor's letter today. I called them both. They both checked on the state fire code, and they both came back with the 50 feet. I asked them their opinion, should we change anything? They said, no, everything we have is exactly what we all felt at the time was the proper way to protect everybody in the city.
Do you feel it's enough information that will, I guess, for residents, that it's clear enough?
That's me. I'm looking at it from a fire chief's standpoint. I mean, a layperson can give me their opinion, but I think if somebody wants to burn, if as long as they meet the requirements, I don't understand. And again, I'm looking at it from, I do this all the time. So I guess I would reach out to you guys. If you guys think differently, tell me that you don't understand it and how you'd want it so that it was a little more easily understandable. But my thing is just to protect everybody. That's all let everybody have the ability to burn, but also do it as safely as possible for every resident.
Thank you.
So I'll say this, I absolutely understand what you're getting at, Counselor. That in Pawtucket with the lot size, 50 feet is, I don't want to use the word exclusionary, but it's tough to meet. But I also think that the intent that I heard during the committee meeting was not to go shut everybody down. It was to have the ability to shut down the folks who are causing a problem or endangering themselves or their neighbors. Is that really it?
Yes.
And right now you don't have any mechanism.
Correct.
Is there a problem with and you're looking at it from the safety standpoint?
Correct.
You're looking at it from an equal opportunity to enjoy your backyard standpoint. And sometimes those two things just don't go. If we settle on 25 and it's a small, let's say it's a trailer park on Columbus Avenue, right? And the lot size is not even 25 feet. So at some point, somebody is going to be disadvantaged, right? And I don't think even in that instance that the chief is going to be going down and shutting down that barbecue or that propane pit on a 25 by 40 lot. Is that about the size of a trailer?
I go shut them. Prohibited in the mobile home parks due to the close proximity of the units. So yes.
So I think what we have to look at is the intent. I get it. I get what you're saying about Pawtucket. The same is true about Pawtucket being densely populated and closely confined. That's the chief's concern too, right? So we're densely populated in smaller lots, hence the 50 feet becomes a bit of a problem if you're trying to be as fair as possible. The other hand is 50-foot wide lots. It's a pretty good likelihood you're endangering my property too. So I get both sides of it. I get I read your letter as late as it was. I read your letter. So could it be that we enact this ordinance with the full understanding that we almost revisit it immediately? So it gives you the tool you need and then can be fine tuned thereafter. Does that make sense? Knowing, your concern, Counselor, I think is allayed a bit by the chief's genuine, he's not looking to shut everybody down. So I think it was vetted. Could it be better? Perhaps. If we do it this way, do you have a better mechanism at the moment than the current? If you slap a burger on it, you can do it, right? That's where we are right now, right?
And that's what we're trying to get away from, because that's when we really, if we were to leave what we currently have, there's nothing I can do. This guy they could be, like council say, he could be burning pressure treated lumber. He could burn anything. I can't really do much. I mean, I can, but it becomes more of a nuisance. Where this way, I can just be like, you're in violation. Here's your first warning. Second warning, you're gonna get, you get a fine, and we'll go from there. We have a mechanism built into this, and like I said, I can guarantee you, if you were to ask your constituents, there are people that are burning every single day that we don't have a problem with. I guarantee you there's people burning within 50-foot radius of their house. You don't have a problem. But without this, when we do have a problem, I can't do it. I have a way of doing something. Without this, I can't do anything.
And then again, an ordinance is not supposed to be uniformly enforced, right? So we're on one of these, so Council, did you raise your hand?
Yes, I did. Two things. I heard while the counselor and the chief were going back and forth, the counselor said that under the codes of permitted fires, and I heard you say there is no such thing as a permitted fire in the city of Pawtucket.
Correct.
Except for Slater Park,
The grills at Slater Park,
which
and maybe
the
even
president
Vets Park.
kind of indicated. So I just wanted to get that clear in my head too. And then secondly, I didn't read the ordinance, but I've been listening to some of the adjustments. I fully understand your position because I've heard it from other people. They're burning, they're burning painted wood and all this other stuff. But you also indicated, I think in your change, that it had to be a UL
approved device.
UL approved device. So that's just another check and balance that allows you to turn around and shut somebody down if they got a barrel and they're burning wood in a barrel in their backyard.
Correct.
All right.
And that's one of our biggest problems is people have a 55-gallon drum that probably had oil or some kind of petrochemical in it. They cut it down and they stop burning it, and then you give off the smoke and it becomes toxic to everybody. And this way it eliminates that.
All right. Thank you, Chief.
So hang on just one second. Councilor Rougeau.
Yes, I think it's important to have a mechanism for the fire department to be able to shut them down. When I was living on Pawtucket Avenue, I'd seen a couple different neighbors have these fire pits, and those puppies they packed them with wood, and it was dangerous because the houses were very close together. If the will of the ordinance committee is to revisit it at some point, that's fine. But I think we need to give the tools to the fire department to be able to keep us safe. And if there's adjustments, fine. This is fire burning season. The temperature, perfect time. Springtime, beginning of springtime, the fall. We're getting into the time of season where people are starting their campfires, they're starting that up. And, the irony of how many stores in the area sell fire pits, but we're not allowed to burn them unless you're cooking something, right? So we have something on the books. Let's get that taken care of so we can give you and your department the tools to keep us protected and then revisit it. With these things that are brought up, nothing says we can't revisit. Let's get this on the books. So this is the prime season right now. I think we need to do something and put it out there.
I agree.
Councilor Gregor.
I agree. So we need, part of the thing here too, there are a lot of things missing. Okay. So one, most of these, the restrictions they're requiring the NEFPA and the state also have things like fires are limited and restricted during atmospheric, local conditions require it. And also if there's, such as high winds or the fire weather forecast, has a red flag warning for the National Weather Service. This is stuff that's included in other ordinances, that's not factored here. It would ease the response of anybody having to go, if the people know, well, if there's high winds or the weather alert says red, I know I can't have a fire. Then you're not wasting time having fire folks or the police responding when somebody decides to have a fire. So these are things that need to be listed, right? And there's things here that the fire should be at all time constantly attended by an adult. It can't be left open. People should have some sort of bucket with water or a fire hose or some sort of extinguisher nearby when you're doing these things. These are all things that are not present in our ordinance. And I think also this one also uses UL listed tested to approve appliance company. That is just one of the many OSHA nationally recognized testing laboratories that do this sort of things. So to just limit it to one specific one, which in this case is Underwriters Laboratory International Ltd., doesn't provide people with a lot of choice in terms of what they can purchase, what they can build. But as long as OSHA approved, nationally recognized, and that's fine. That's all this ordinance should say. You're not limited to just one company. Okay? This is like saying there's a bunch of construction company here, city can only use X. No, it's good.
That is the standard. You try to buy one of those that doesn't have a UL code on it. Try to buy one somewhere, anyway.
No, I understand that, but there are several. Even UL is approved by OSHA, so it's got to be a nationally approved company that does this sort
Go
of
home
thing.
and check your toaster. There's a little white
No, I
sticker on it
understand that. I'm not
that's
saying-
well certified. And take one of your light.
We should call the question.
Everything is that.
Well,
is-
maybe that's the most
That
popular.
is the standard.
Yeah. Okay.
But why would we not use that standard?
Okay.
But-
Well,
and
I
again,
just
like NFPA, you go at a state fire marshal's office, right? So
Correct.
not the NFPA.
Correct.
And
I mean,
maybe
they're
it goes
both
to-
basically interchangeable, but
Yep.
we have to go by the Rhode
All
Island.
right, so we're spending far too much time on this.
Mhm.
Chairman, I'm going to turn it over to you. What is your position on this?
Well, yeah, well, before I get into my position, no one even mentioned this, but I wanted to at least talk briefly, I'll be brief, about the process involved here. Something that upsets me tremendously, and the fact that Councilor Gregor, and I respect your opinion. I understand where you're coming from, so I get it. You're making some valid points and you're trying to certainly, represent your area in the district. The process is what bothers me. I mean, we vetted this out more than 2 weeks ago at the committee level. Plenty of chance to ask a lot of questions. You had come to me at the meeting, the last meeting, with some of your concerns. I know you had them written down and stuff. And I said, you got to have this done ahead of time, well in advance, so that we can be prepared to be here tonight and answer these questions and have the chief answer some questions. So we got this email at 3:00. I sent an email to you last week to say, get this done ahead of time. I sent a text to you yesterday to get this done ahead of time. And then this is handed out to the president and myself at 3 p.m. before the meeting. I'm just saying you can't do that. That's not being respectful to the process. It's not being respectful to the council or the ordinance chair. I mean, you have to have this done well in advance so that we can go over this. And this should have been done at least almost 2 weeks ago. At least you could have had this even on the docket for that sake, instead of now we're kind of backing into it and you're making all these points now, which is fine. I mean, you can't, it's not like you can't, but it's just, to me, it's just no excuse for that. I'm just saying, going forward, just show a little more respect with the process. And if you're going to have certainly all your questions and all your research that you're doing, I respect you for doing that. I just need you to do that earlier earlier in the process. I mean, you had plenty of time and it should have been done earlier. So I will just add to this that, in my opinion, I think we need something now. And as chair of the ordinance committee, I'd like to vote on this now, and then we can certainly revisit it with some of the, questions that the council has. We can certainly sit down as the committee. I'm sure the chief is open to that, to see if there's anything we can do to tailor it to some of the concerns that you're showing. Again, I respect you for that. I just don't respect what happened in the last few weeks with the process, because going forward, you have to do this. You have to submit this in a proper fashion, timely fashion, so that we can look at it well in advance. You had plenty of time, and then all of a sudden it's 3:00 today and we're seeing all this, and that is not the right way to do it. I've been doing this for a long time, and I honestly haven't seen this. Usually people are more prepared in trying to get this stuff in front of their committees.
So are you moving the question?
I am moving.
All right.
Well, I'm just going to respond to that.
He's
No,
moved the question. There is no response. I'm sorry.
well, I'm sorry, but I don't agree with your assessment.
The clerk will call the roll. We had a motion. It was a motion at the outset.
President Mercer.
Yes.
Council Russo.
Yes.
Council Codere.
Yes.
Council Gregor.
No, for a reason I stated, in light of the fact that I don't find it comprehensive enough and helpful to the residents of the city.
Council Moran.
Yes.
Council Moreno. Council Rubio.
Yes.
Council Scoviac.
Yes.
Council Wilden.
Yes.
8-1.
Number 4, the ordinance committee returns the following: an ordinance and amendment of chapter 3124 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pawtucket, Rhode Island, 1996, amending the 2017 Comprehensive Plan, 10 Newport Avenue, Assessors Plat 40, Lot 1015. This is for first passage. Motion is to approve on a
Second.
roll call vote.
It's been moved by Councilor Moran. Was that Council Rubio? Second by
Council
Council
Codere.
Rubio, that the ordinance
Codere.
committee returns the following. Codere?
It was
Sorry.
good, yeah.
The ordinance and amendment of chapter 3124 of the Code of Ordinance of the City of Pawtucket, 1996, amending the 2017 Comprehensive Plan regarding 10 Newport Avenue, Assessors Plat 40, license lot number 1015. That was first passage on a roll call vote.
Correct.
This is the comprehensive plan, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any discussion on item 4 for first passage from the ordinance committee? Hearing none, then the clerk will call the roll.
President Mercer.
Yes.
Council Russo.
Yes.
Council Codere.
Yes.
Council Gregor. Council Moran.
Yes.
Council Moreno.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Council Rubio.
Yes.
Council Scoviac. Council Wilden. 9-0.
Number 5, the ordinance committee returns the following: an ordinance and amendment of chapter 410 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pawtucket, 1996, entitled Zoning, amendment to zoning map from residential single-family RS to commercial general CG, zoning district 10 Newport Avenue, Assessors Plat 40, Lot 1015. This comes before us for first passage, but before we get to that point, I wanted to bring up an amendment.
Okay, so we're taking up, motion is from Council Moran, seconded by Councilor Codere, that we take up an ordinance with the ordinance committee returns the following. It's an ordinance and amendment of chapter 410 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pawtucket, 1996, entitled Zoning, amendment to the zoning map from residential single-family RS to commercial general CG, zoning district 10 Newport Avenue, Assessors Plat 40, lot number 1015. The motion at the moment is to take up.
Correct.
Okay, take up the ordinance, and you have a proposed amendment?
I do, Mr. President. I know this was worked on between Council Horan and Council Milo, so this was sent to me in my phone, so I'm going to read this specifically right here. It says here, proposed amendment to zoning ordinance. As a condition of this zone change, all commercial operations on the subject property shall be subject to the following condition: prohibition of rear deliveries. No commercial delivery shall be permitted at the rear of the building. And then emergency access exception. The prohibition of rear access shall not apply to fire apparatus or other official emergency response vehicles. Examples would be police and ambulance in the event of an emergency. So that would be the proposed amendment.
Okay, so I don't see a closing, a fence, a barrier required. Isn't that what we discussed?
With a gate, right?
So there's already a fence there with a gate that's locked. I think that's when Attorney Milos and I were putting this together. We were dealing with more what can come in now that there's a fence there.
I know you were dealing with on the fly, right? This is something you get, so, I'd feel better as a district counselor, that there be one more, that, maybe before the prohibition of radial, the erection of a substantial fence or barrier between on the western property line. Would that work?
Yeah, 6-foot stockade fence would work. And that would give any prospective tenant the ability to come in from the front to do a delivery or whatever the case may be, to access the building from the front without disturbing any tranquility in the neighborhood as far as that goes. With the caveat of public safety issues, fire, police,
So-
ambulance.
I think we're all on
Yeah.
the same page.
Correct.
You tell me, Attorney Horan, if this is legally acceptable. So subject to the following condition, I think it should be conditions, plural.
I agree.
One, there shall be a solid barrier or fence on the western property line, no lower than 6 feet, with gate access for emergencies as, below. I'm trying to pencil this together as we go. Prohibition of rear deliveries, no commercial deliveries. Well, we can forget the emergency access, right? So a solid barrier or fence no lower than 6 feet on the western property line.
And then the other two
with-
fine?
yeah.
Oh, really?
And then with a gate if necessary. And then that would dovetail to prohibition of rear deliveries and the emergency access. Is that?
So that's fine, except for the word solid for a barrier, because we're not gonna do concrete, obviously, or,
I meant solid and that, not chain link. So
Just say non-chain link and just say
we
non-chain.
could say,
A wood fence?
Non-chain.
yeah, I was just, if you wanted to put
a
a
screen,
vinyl fence,
a
or
screen
you
or-
wanted to put,
a screened barrier or fence, would that? The screening would,
a screen, yeah. Would you plan to be using wood as opposed to vinyl, let's say?
Yeah, well, a vinyl fence, like the PVC fence.
Right.
Obviously, the aesthetics would be much nicer for the neighborhood to look at as well. So non-permeable fencing, in other words.
Okay,
wouldn't
does
be the
that work
green-
for you?
that does.
All right, non-permeable fencing,
Yeah,
no lower than 6 feet, to incorporate a
with access.
gate access,
For
a gate access.
public safety, how's that? Can we add that?
Sure.
So that way fire truck, ambulance, police.
And then the next sentence, or the next prohibition of rear deliveries is fine. Emergency access exception, that kind of dovetails with the gate access.
Yep.
Are you comfortable with that?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Did you write that down, Rick?
I'm trying.
Don't put barbed wire.
All right, so,
Hey,
so,
Oh, sure.
so we got, there shall be a non-permeable barrier or fence on the western property line, not less than 6 feet high, with a gate for emergency entrance and exit.
Yes. And then, all right, did you have a question, Counselor Gregor? Or did that answer it?
No, yes, I just shared your concern because I think Mr. Vitale, didn't you say that currently that the opening, you just have a fence, I mean, a chain,
you have a
right?
chain link fence. No,
Oh, a
no,
chain link, an actual chain link fence.
Yeah, chain link fence.
Oh, okay. All right.
Is there currently with a lock on it. And only people that can access the back of the building are us,
It's right
the
there.
ownership.
already
Or my
there.
maintenance guys. But other than that, there's no one else is allowed back there.
Okay. And so that's a condition of the zoning change.
Cool. That'll be that.
I don't know if
You're
you've
being
done
cute
anything aesthetically, please.
Acceptable colors.
Yeah, right.
Sure.
Help I-
Yeah, now we're back to subjectiveness.
I'm glad you're back.
Yeah, I love it.
There'll be a non-permeable.
Okay,
You're giving me
are we
the-
good with that?
giving
And
me
you,
ideas.
he, as the
don't need
clerk
that.
has written it and
Funny.
articulated it, you and your client are fine with that, right?
Yes.
Do you want,
Okay,
you want me
so
to
that
read
will-
one more time
Yeah,
just
read
to
it
make
one more
sure? Okay, so there shall be a non-permeable barrier or fence on the western property line, not less than 6 feet high, with a gate for emergency access.
Yes, and then the next two,
And then
and the next two. Okay, so then, that is your motion for an amendment, right?
Yeah.
All right, then I will read this, that, a condition of this zoning change shall be, threefold. The first, what the clerk just read. Second is prohibition of rear deliveries, no commercial delivery shall be permitted at the rear of the building. Emergency access exception, the prohibition of rear access shall not apply to fire apparatus or other official emergency response vehicles. Example, police, ambulance, in the event of an emergency. Those would be the three conditions or stipulations, or however it's articulated.
So I have
Um,
to change the first part, as is.
Take your first
No,
part.
part
Oh.
before that.
As a condition of this zone change, all commercial operations on the subject property shall be subjected to the following conditions, plural. The first one you just
Okay,
wrote, the
I got
next
it.
two I just articulated. Do you have those as well? Were those
I
sent
have
to
the
you?
email, so.
Okay, all right. In that case, been moved by Councilor Moran, seconded, oh. Do we have to do the amendment?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so on the amendment of putting those three conditions on, is there any discussion? And that motion to amend and insert the conditions is made by Council Moran, seconded by Council Codier. Any discussion on that? All in favor? Do we need-
That's
Need a roll
that's
call?
That's a roll.
Okay, clerk will call a roll.
President Mercer.
Yes.
Council Ruzo.
Yes.
Council Codere.
Yes.
Council Gregor. Council Moran.
Yes.
Council Moreno. Council Rubio.
Yes.
Council Scoviac. Council Wilderness. Yes. 9-0.
Okay, now on the ordinance, in amendment of chapter 410 of the Code of Ordinance of the City of Pawtucket, 1996, entitled zoning, amendment of zoning map from residential to single-family RS to commercial general CG zoning district, 10 Newport Avenue, Assessors Plat 40, Lot 1015, as amended. Is there any discussion? Clerk will call the roll.
Same motion and second.
Yes. That was the original motion.
I didn't get to read it.
You did. At the outset.
No, I didn't. No, I did. Aren't you doing number 5?
Yeah.
No, we're doing,
No, yeah.
no,
we
we're
did
doing that.
five.
Yeah.
We did,
No,
we did
doing
4 and
five
you,
now
and
is
you,
amended.
and you made the motion for 5.
Right.
That
That
started the dialogue.
That is true. Yeah. Let me read it again.
So as amended, President Mercer.
Yes.
Council Ruzo.
Yes.
Council Codere.
Yes.
Council Gregor. Council Moran.
Yes.
Council Moreno. Council Rubio.
Yes.
Council Scoviac. Council Wilderness. Yes. 9-0.
Item number 6, the following claims for damages against the city, which were returned by the Committee on Claims and Pending Suits, were postponed at the meeting held on March 11th, 2026, and are again taken up. Recommendation to be paid, Raymond Munoz
Second.
Tabares. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh,
That was motion.
okay, for a pothole. Kyle McCarthy for $300 for a pothole. Dwayne Fortes, $300 for a pothole. Ashley Diane. Someone help me with that.
Which
name.
one?
Occhiadalo.
What is it?
Pocchiadlo.
Ocadlio.
Yeah.
For $639.25 for a fire vehicle. I move to approve on a roll call vote for those.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilor Rubio, seconded by Councilor Moreno and Councilor Arujo, that the following claims for damages against the city, which were returned by the Committee on Claims and Pending Suits, were postponed at the meeting held March 11th and are again taken up. There are 4 recommended to be paid. Raymond Munoz Tabares, $74 for a pothole. Kyle McCarthy, $300 for a pothole. Dwayne Forts, $300 for a pothole. And Ashley Diane Pisiadlo, $639.25 for a fire vehicle. Any discussion on those recommendations for approval? The clerk will call a roll.
President Mercer.
Yes.
Council Ruzo.
Yes.
Council Codere.
Yes.
Council Gregor. Council Moran.
Yes.
Council Moreno. Council Rubio.
Yes.
Council Scoviac. Council Wildenhain.
Yes.
9-0.
Recommended to be denied Penny Feldman, $96 and 29 cents for property damage. I move to approve on a roll call vote.
Been moved by Councilor Ruzo, second by, Councilor Rubio, second by Councilor Ruzo and Councilor Moreno, that the following claim be denied. Penny Feldman in the amount of $96.29 for property damage. Any discussion on the motion to deny? Clerk will call a roll.
President Mercer.
Yes to deny.
Council Ruzo.
Yes.
Council Codere.
Yes.
Council Gregor. Council Moran.
Yes.
Council Moreno. Council Rubio.
Yes.
Council Scoviac. Council Wildenhain.
Yes.
9-0.
Janine Smith for $144.87 for a vehicle towed. I recommend to recommit to claims. No roll call vote needed, I believe.
I believe that is correct. It's been moved by Councilor Rubio, second by Councilor Ruzo and Councilor Moreno, that a claim by Janine Smith in the amount of $144.87 for a vehicle towed be recommitted to the Claims Committee. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Recommended to be denied and referred to J.R. Vinagro Corporation as follows. Randy Winchell
Winchell.
for the amount of $180.13 for a manhole. I move to approve on a roll call vote.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilor Rubio, second by Councilor Ruzo and Councilor Moreno, that the Claims Committee recommends to be denied and referred to J.R. Vinagro Corporation, a claim by Randy Wunschel in the amount of $180.13 for a manhole. The clerk will call a roll.
President Mercer.
Yes.
Council Ruzo.
Yes.
Council Codere.
Yes.
Council Gregor. Council Moran.
Yes.
Council Moreno. Council Rubio.
Yes.
Council Scoviac. Council Wildenhain.
Yes.
9-0.
No further business coming before the Pawtucket City Council. I make a motion that we adjourn.
Moved by Councilor Ruzo, second by Councilor Moreno, that we adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.